He didn't play a full game, probably a half a game because of an injury.
You know, Jeff, the score is deceiving, okay? When we looked at that game, Hilton had a lot of yards rushing. They moved the ball well. They had a great mix of formations, pass and run. So I think this is going to be a little bit of a different game. I'm expecting a close one here today.
If Hilton falls behind again, can they come back? I think the way their offense is structured, I would worry about that if I was Rich Apani.
You know, you are correct, though. Coach Lapani, he loves that wishbone, 2 tight ends, 3 guys in the backfield. However, the past couple weeks, they've been showing shades of diversifying their game with like 4 receivers and 1 running back in the backfield.
National anthem down, and we're getting ready for some great football action here at Victor. It's Victor against Hilton in the semifinals, and it's a Victor program. Jimmy, you used to be a part of the varsity staff. You're still a modified coach. You've been part of the JV program. They haven't won a title in it'll be this will be 2016, 4 or 5 years, how you ever count it.
Right.
And they've had some close calls too recently. But I know that they're hungry for something to get it going and get back to a championship game after losing in the first round last year.
You know, when you look at Victor, they've got many pieces. I think they've got the successful pieces. They got the guys up front. You know, they have the athletes on the perimeter that can make some things happen. You know, some keys for success for Victor today. You know, in looking at things.
Baker left, Baker right.
You know, in addition to that, Jeff, you're right. You know, in addition to that, they've got to come into this game understanding that Hilton has a lot of weapons. I mean, you know, this Dante Valiant, I think he's that athlete for Hilton. Sometimes he'll be part of that 3 running back wishbone. Sometimes he'll be that receiver on the perimeter. So Victor's got to make sure they account for him when they're on defense. And also, you know, Hilton's got those big guys in the middle, you know, coming up front with the Salamone kid, Shahandi. You know, these people can sometimes be tough to move. So keys for success, you know, diversify that game plan and attack Hilton from all angles.
Well, speaking to somebody this morning about this matchup, and we talked about ball control and how Hilton wants to try to limit the possessions of the Victor Blue Devils by holding onto the ball. And then I said to myself, that's pretty much Victor's plan every week. This is Rich Apani. He doesn't have a lot of secrets. It's 32 years as the head coach at Hilton. He's at 194 wins. Note to Mr. Jaritzi to take note of that for next season. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be Bedford. It's going to be much the same thing. They both want to hold the ball and run the ball, and if they have to pass it, they will. But you're right. Dante Valiant is a kid who gives them a guy who can take it to the house anytime he touches the ball. And Hilton doesn't always have that. They have the bruising runner, and Jason Bedford's going to be that today. But Valiant gives them a dimension, and he broke off a 73-yard touchdown run in that Week 3 matchup that made it a 14-7 game. But then the opening drive of the second half, Victor takes it down, makes it 21-7. Cody Jensen, a 29-yard touchdown catch from Mr. Knapp. And then Benetti, who was a great resource, certainly on defense as a linebacker, he scores a 58-yard touchdown and it's 28-7. He had 90 yards that day, and Victor as a team racked up 309 yards rushing, Jim.
You know, I'll be excited, Jeff, to see, you know, Victor here setting up for the kickoff return. It'll be exciting to see what they come out in offensively. Are they going to try and spread out this Hilton defense with 4 wide receivers? Are they going to load up the backfield and let some guys get in front of Rashawn Baker and let him run? So it's going to be a matchup where it'll be really interesting to see the formations that teams come out in today.
Luka dodged with a kick, and it's Jensen trying to return it. He fielded cleanly after picking it up, I beg your pardon. And is the ball on the ground, Jim? That's a fumble, and I think the Cadets say they have it. Wow, one play in, you'd have to say that's how you draw it up for Hilton.
You know, that's exactly what Hilton is trying to do here. make a statement early. And again, last game they come out, they had that double wing formation. They had like 2 wide receivers and they had like 2 wings in the backfield. So it'll be real interesting to see the formation set that Hilton comes out in.
It looks like number 88, Julian Suro, a senior, comes up with the loose ball. And what a break for Hilton. And this is the great equalizer, right?
It's a huge break. Exactly. Hilton are right now looking at Victor. They got the big guys up front, with Franzak and Joey Harashak anchoring things. But, pick your poison. If you run outside, you've got to deal with Isaiah Kauser and also CJ. So Colin James. So it's going to be real interesting.
The Hilton offense, you're going to have Siliberto at the quarterback spot, of course, in the backfield. Bedford and
Hilton with that traditional 2 tight end set with 2 running backs in the backfield. It's a famous Hilton ISO.
That's 25 Bedford on the carry. Not much there. Let's set that Hilton offensive line for you, too. At center, Mason Shahadi. Left guard, William Salamone. Right guard, Jake Lemon. Right tackle, Carl Coons. Left tackle, Kellen Peer. Our flanker is Dante Villian. And Carter Clark also in there. And we said Siliberto, Bedford, and Graham, your key playmakers in the backfield. It's a second and...
Here comes Jeff, that 4 wide receiver set. You've got 1 running back, 2 receivers to one side, 2 receivers to the other.
Second and 8, high snap. Boy, almost didn't get the handoff down. Josh Graham almost didn't get that ball because Siliberto didn't have enough time. Great pressure early on here for Victor. The defense stepping up on that 2nd and 8 play. Looks like maybe a loss of a couple of yards back to the line of scrimmage, Jim.
I thought Joshua Graham did a nice job handling the ball. Sometimes that snap comes up high. You want to make sure you get that tucked away early. But again, Joe Hirashak and Nick Franzak did a nice job coming up and providing pressure.
We're going to have a 3rd and 10 for the Cadets trying to capitalize on this early turnover. Victor gives it up on the opening kickoff. We'll see what happens. In the shotgun formation, Siliberto look into his left. Throw across the middle. He's got a man. Throws a little bit behind. Nice play on defense there too, Jim.
Jeff, I really like the idea of play action. You'll notice that Siliberto gets a snap. He fakes it to his running back, trying to freeze those Victor linebackers so they can get that post pattern open. But I thought that the Victor defensive backs did an outstanding job in coverage that time.
Yeah, that was Trevor Knapp on the breakup. He was looking for Ryan Kurtz, and just a touch behind, or that might have been a touchdown for Hilton. What do they do here now? 4th and 10, and it looks like they're going to go for it. Lapani knowing he's got to score points today, right?
This is, again, that 2 tight end set coming out for Hilton, with only that 1 receiver out there, 2 running backs.
Under center this time. Siliberto dropping back to pass. Looking right, got some pressure, steps up the pocket, and he is sacked. It ain't going to matter if the ball's loose or not. It's going to be turned over and downs. Great pressure there from the Blue Devils, and boy, did the Victor defense show up when they needed to, Jim.
They brought in one of their speed rushers, number 55, Devin Pierce. Does a nice job breaking through that huge offensive line of Hilton that you mentioned earlier. A great group up front. And again, sometimes after a big play, and that's definitely a big play, Victor is one of these high school teams like to take a shot at it down the field, and let's see what they come up with.
Big Connor Williams at the center spot here for the Blue Devils. Of course, you got Knapp as the quarterback, Rashawn Baker. See what we have on first play, for our first play. He's going to throw. It's Jensen, and it is caught.
Yep, Jeff, that's
short game.
It's that bubble screen. Sometimes the team will put 3 receivers out. They'll have 2 of those 3 receivers blocked for that 3rd guy. That 3rd guy, his job is just catch the ball at the line of scrimmage and then try and make something out of it. But as you saw, the Hilton defensive backs did a phenomenal job just swarming to the ball with, again, number 23, Dante Valiant. He's an offensive player and a defensive player.
Boy, such a big line for the Blue Devils. Some of those guys, Nick Franzak up there, Kauser, I beg your pardon, Kauser's on the defensive line. Here we go, 2nd and 9. And we've got maybe a false start. Offside looks like the early indication here on the Cadets. That'll make it a short and much more manageable 3rd and 4. And
for Hilton, you've got big number 78, Damian Casper, and also number 79, Carl Coons, the big guys. I think they just kind of lined up in the neutral zone quite often. That defensive line, they want to get up to that ball as much as they can. to try and get in the backfield and try and get through there before the offensive line sets.
Carter Clark and Peyton Console also on that line for the Cadets. Pitch to the right. Baker cuts it back up the middle. Good. Oh, initial pressure. Baker breaks it out to the left side. Enough for the first down and then some. First down, the first one of the game for the Victor Blue Devils.
You know, Jeff, I thought you got a good look at Rashawn's running back ability. He's attacking that right side of the line. It's kind of clogged up. Hilton did a great job. Their linebackers filled. But all of a sudden you saw Rashawn and his ability to kind of bounce it back the other way. And that makes him a tough guy to grab onto.
Early on here, we are scoreless, and a great stop early by the Victor defense, and an early timeout here. Looks from Coach Mandel. Doesn't look too happy to burn a timeout this early. And this is a Victor team that has been so solid all year long, Jim. I mean, they've, you know, I'm looking at some of their scores. You know, they started out with that big win over School of the Arts in Edison, and 28-7 over Fairport, 28-7 over Hilton, 35-3 over Schrader, 38-6. I was here to see that one against Monroe, and then certainly answered the bell, 35-14 over Pittsford last week.
You know, Jeff, and that sounds great, but let's face it, it's sectional time, okay? All the teams you're going to face in sectionals, they're very good teams, and also they've gotten better throughout the year. So, you know, the big challenge is now, you know, Victor might be used to getting into that, you know, 2-3 score lead, but I think they're going to find themselves in a dogfight here and moving forwards. And it's just going to see, you know, how can Victor handle that unique pressure that they haven't maybe seen earlier in the season.
I spoke with the Hilton coach, Rich Lapani, a little bit yesterday, and he said that the thing about Victor is they have no weakness. But, you know, the thing about Hilton is those kids, I've seen them, many teams, many sports, those kids will not stop playing no matter what the score is.
Yeah, they're competitors, quarter one through quarter four, Hilton is. And right now you're seeing Victor's, you know, 4 wide receiver set. There's that fake play
action.
Look at
the pass again. He's looking for Kauser, a little long, good coverage there. Number 14, Timothy Hubbard for Hilton. And they're coming out throwing here, Jim.
You know, it's interesting, Jeff. You've seen both quarterbacks really go ahead and use that play action. They're faking, like right there. They faked Rashawn Baker, just as, you know, Hilton was doing the same thing with that play action. If you're going to have success today, you got to freeze these linebackers because both teams have outstanding linebacker corps.
Well, I was here a few weeks ago and I saw the Monroe game, and Knapp only played the first half, but he threw the ball like 10 times. I think they were trying to work on some stuff for sectionals. Here's Baker to the left. Got some good blocking up front, and another good gain, probably 5 or 6. Make it a manageable 3rd and 4 or 5.
You'll notice in that like tight inside toss that Victor's running, they're pulling their backside guard and tackle. And I love seeing it, high school teams not afraid to move those big guys up front. Because when you're actually pulling people, whether it's the guard and tackle, you know, it really helps you get more bodies to the point of attack.
Yeah, you could see big number 78 coming at you on the left side trying to block here. Looks like an injured player down on the near sideline. Hilton, we'll take a quick break as we do that and get a status update. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network. That's Valiant.
Yeah.
We are back at Victor, and the injured cadet is Dante Valiant, and up under his own power. Good to see that. Looks like he's holding his tailbone area, maybe his low back. Not a good sign for Hilton. He's their home run hitter on offense, and does not look good. He's walking off pretty gingerly. Get some treatment on the far sideline where the cadets are stationed, and we wish the best for him. 3rd and 2 coming up here for Victor. They've completed 1 first down on this drive. Started after holding Hilton on downs after they fumbled kickoff to open the game by Victor, covered by Hilton. They couldn't do much with the drive. Here we go.
You know, once again, you see Victor in that 3 receiver set to the wide side of the field, Jeff. It'll be interesting to see what they do out of here. This gives Knapp the ability to sprint to the right. Nope.
Just a decoy. Baker up the middle. Baker, he's got 1 man to beat. He's going to do it. 15, 10, 5. It's a touchdown. Rashawn Baker.
You know, Jeff, the interesting thing here is as we take a look at it again, Victor has 3 receivers to that wide side of the field. And what that does, you know, it brings the defensive backs to the wide side of the field. And Victor answers off of that by running inside to the left. So if Rashawn can happen to break through that back line, there's really no defensive backs there to make the play for him.
Everyone leans one way, and he goes the other way.
Exactly.
And once he gets in the clear, look out. This is Mr. Reliable pretty much. Is your Max Fiorca.
Yep. The soccer player in the fall. Max is the soccer player for us.
It's Fiorca, is that right?
Fiorica, yes.
Fiorica, I beg
Max
your pardon.
Fiorica. Yep.
Just like that, a 53-yard touchdown jaunt by Rashawn Baker, his 15th touchdown on the season. And, boy, he's in good shape for the 100-yard day here.
You know, Jeff,
see it again there, Jim.
I agree. And you'll notice that also, Nick Franzak, Tyler Hobson, Connor Williams, Joey Harashok, and Ty Rader up front. They not only did a great job of getting on the guys in front of them, getting their hands on, but they did what some high school kids sometimes struggle with. They climbed to the linebacker. So all of a sudden, those linebackers that are supposed to flow, they just weren't there.
He's 5'11", 225. He's got the size and the power, and yet he gets in the open field, Jim, and he can take it to the house like he just did. He's now over 800 yards on the season, probably about 815 yards. He had 747 coming into this ball game, and like I said, his 15th touchdown to lead the Blue Devils. No one else has more than 4. So I beg your pardon. Knapp combined has 8 passing and 2 rushing.
Yes, you did see you got a chance at not only his inside cutting ability, but as you said, Jeff, you mentioned his ability to accelerate, all the way through to the goal line.
Fiorica is going to put into play. Looks like Graham and Bedford deep for Hilton to take this one. Low lining kick, going to take it by an up back. It's number 14, and he's going to take him down. That's Tim Hubbard on the return. Not much going there, but Hilton will take over at about 36-yard line. We appreciate you joining us today on a Varsity Media Sports Network Sunday. From wherever you join us, however you're joining us, whether it's on your phone or your iPad or you've got it going on the television in the living room. Clouds rolling in here, Jim. I don't think we're going to get any rain, but I thought that was going to pass by. And it had, but you never know.
You never know out here. We're expecting to see great things out of Hilton. You got 55, Kellen Peer, William Salamone, Mason Shahandi up front, Jacob Lennon, Carl Coons, Carter Clark at the tight end. These guys got to really own it up front, keep moving their feet.
Boy, Trevor Knapp had come up from his position and stopped that ball. That was Bedford on the carry. Not much doing there for him. Maybe a yard.
I agree with you. Trevor Knapp's got that rare ability. As a defensive back, you're always pass conscious first. You don't want to be that kid that gets burned because when you're a defensive back and the guy you're covering catches that ball, everybody sees it. But, man, once he recognizes it's a run, he just comes in, hard, fast, and low and makes a great play.
6 foot, 175 pounds, and he was aggressive on that play. Defensive backfield for Victor, solid, obviously. Marcus Hampton back there, Rashawn Baker, number 7, Trent Sherman on the left side here, cornerback. Here we go. 2nd and 8 for the Cadets. He's going to look left. He's rolling left. Siliberto puts it over the middle and is almost, just off the hands of number 16, Carter Clark, the tight end there. Good throw, rolling to his left. That's not an easy catch or throw. And just as I said, no rain. Here come the showers, Jim.
I agree. Carter Clark, yeah, here it comes. We're getting a little wet out here. Up come the umbrellas. You'll notice, Carter Clark, he ran a beautiful pattern. He got right in that sweet spot. He's not quite deep enough for the defensive backs to cover, but he's just behind those linebackers. And that's that sweet spot in patterns that you want your tight ends to find. I thought Carter did a great job of that.
Everything was executed perfectly except for the catch.
That's
the throw,
right.
And he got into great space there.
And that's fixable.
3rd and 8, Siliberto looking again. A little screen over to the right side. Dumps it off to number 10, Graham. Hit once, hit twice. And some backside coverage there for the Blue Devils. That's number 14 coming in on the tackle. Nice job with the backside pursuit by Isaiah Kauser, one of those DNs. And Hilton's going to be a couple yards short of this.
Jeff, I thought that screen was a great call. You got Joshua Graham, number 10 there. Again, the Hilton players are finding the right spot. The Victor Blue Devils are actually collapsing on it pretty quickly, but that screen is a great play when you got those aggressive guys from Victor flying upfield.
Senior Nathan Battaglia back deep. He'll punt the ball here for Victor. Oh, low snap, fields it well, just like a shortstop, and a pretty good boot. No one deep for Victor. Rolled the dice going, and he gets a Hilton bounce here, out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. Nice job there by Hilton. Great job, Battaglia, fielding that errant snap. And that could have been disastrous for Hilton right off the jump again.
Yeah, it was a good idea to punt the ball. Sometimes people wonder, listen, it's early in the game. It's only a one-score game, folks. Sometimes people wonder, should you go for it, faking it? No, this is a great idea. Have faith in this very good, Hilton defense. They've got great athletes across the board, and Hilton will put something together here looking at Victor, it'll be interesting to see what formation they come out with and how they attack this Hilton defense.
They're going to put it into play here at their own 16-yard line, maybe 15 there for Victor. Their second drive of the ball game, leading 7-0 here in the first Class AA semifinal of the afternoon. It's James Knapp at quarterback. Pitch to Baker. Left side again. Pursuit by Clark, can't get there. Nice looking tackle on the outside by number 25, Jason Bedford. Well done there.
I agree. Bedford took a beautiful angle. Sometimes when you're, attacking the running backs of Victor like Rashawn Baker, you've got to make sure you take the appropriate angle. I thought he did a good job with that.
Pretty good pickup, though. That's a gain of about 6.
Yep. Carter Clark, number 16, has been playing well all day. Just got to make sure defensive ends, you attack that outside shoulder, and you're going to hear coaches say, set the edge.
Beg your pardon, gain of about 4. It sets up 2nd and 6. Out wide right is that, looks like Jensen's to the left. I beg your pardon. Pitch to the right. Nick Benetti on the carry. Close to first down yardage. Pretty simple here, and especially, Jim, how will this wet weather affect this ball game?
It's going to be interesting to see for our footing. You notice right now Victor's attacking the outside. Sometimes you're going to see more of that, as the weather gets poor, because that's kind of a tougher angle for your defensive ends coming up the field, trying to change direction when they see that toss. Nick Benetti does a real nice job running the ball. He's that kid that can take a great cut once he breaks through the line of scrimmage.
Another first down for the Blue Devils, their second on the afternoon. And now in the shotgun is Knapp. Hands off to Baker, up the middle. 45 with the first hit, and then number 79 comes and finishes him off. Carl Coons there with the finishing tackle.
Up front, Hilton did a real nice job on that. You're seeing Victor put 3 receivers to one side. Rashawn attacked, and then Rashawn cuts back, and the linebackers were right there to fill. So I thought Hilton did a real nice job getting to the ball.
2nd and 7, still positive yardage there for Victor. Knapp split wide right, Jensen wide left. Pitch again, Baker, same stuff. A little bit different result, and that's going to be more first down yardage. Solid gain once again for Rashawn Baker, approaching 100 yards on the day after that big 53-yard touchdown run to open this scoring. We're past the midway point of the first quarter, and it's 3 first downs to nothing here for the Blue Devils on the move, and that's just tough to stop, Jim. The guys are getting it done up front.
Jeff, you identified the issue right now with Victor, the positive issue. Right now, Rashawn Baker's getting the ball, and even when Hilton had him stopped, they hit him right where they wanted him, he still turned into a 3-yard gain, because calling a play 2nd and 7 is where you want to be. 2nd and 10 is not the answer for your offensive coordinator, but 2nd and 7 is a huge difference. It opens up your playbook.
Victor from its own 41, handoff to Benetti, and this one gets stopped, maybe a gain of a yard on this one. And it's a good little pat on the back for the Hilton defense. Of course, once again, those big boys up front, 78 in on the tackle. Damian Casper, nice job by him to hold it to just a yard gain. Boy, they make these quarterbacks really. Knapp's running in and out. He's getting the play, running back out. He's getting his steps in,
getting his
Jim.
steps in, yeah. A little pedometer on your hip, inside your hip pad.
Pretty basic here on the drives. We'll see if they mix it up and throw the ball here. 3 receivers split wide left. He's going to roll to his left. Good throw, good catch. Knapp to Knapp, works. We got a flag on the play, though. Would be close to a first down.
Again,
good looking throw.
Again, the Hilton linebackers are doing a nice job of flowing. Knapp is rolling out to his left, and we all know that obviously as a right-handed quarterback, you would prefer to roll out to your right, but I think you're seeing some of his abilities to be able to run out to his left. And that really, makes you a threat. Well, when you're there under center and you're able to throw the ball, is your ability to roll out to the right and to the left.
That's a tough throw. He made it. Nice catch, but it's going to be a false start penalty, and we're going to bring it back 5 yards. Going to bring up a 2nd and 14 for Victor. It certainly changes the complexion for them. Their first really long yardage down here. Got Baker deep in the backfield. And is that Kauser, the up back?
Yes, Kauser looks like he's more of a fullback position. They
Nick Leonard on the left side in
Nick
motion.
Leonard, they trade their tight end.
Over the left side, right where Leonard was. He's got yardage, and he's gonna get all that back and more. He just kept the legs going. Rashawn Baker. Boy, that's just some tough running there.
Jeff, and I love seeing people trade the tight end. You see that in the NFL quite a bit, but high school, not so much. But when you trade the tight end, you completely change the strength of your formation. And then the guys up front have to adjust. And sometimes while you're adjusting to the strength of formation, that creates holes for the offense if they can find them.
He had a guy on him, and he just kept going. That's the thing. Very rarely you're going to have one guy going to bring down Rashawn Baker.
Exactly. It's that forward lean. It's that leg drive. And that's what they're looking for.
46-yard line here. Hilton's 46-yard line across midfield. And Knapp out of the shotgun here for the Blue Devils. Hand off to Baker. Looking left side again. Boy, they like the left side, Jim. And another positive yardage, probably about 5 there on the play. They really can't. It's like I said, Baker left, Baker right, but mostly left, though. Mostly left.
And you'll notice that number 57, the right guard, Joey Harashok, they're pulling him, okay? Sometimes when you think about an offensive lineman, an offensive guard, you're thinking about these, heavy-legged, big guys. But if you notice the kids up front for Victor, they can move, especially at the right guard. Harashok does a nice job. He's a right guard, but he's pulling to his left to be that lead blocker. Having the extra blocker at the point of attack is everything in this game.
2nd and 6 for Victor, leading 7-0. Up the middle. This one time it's Benetti, and he's loose, and he's going to go all the way to the house. Nick Benetti for the Victor touchdown. Boy, again, great blocking. I'm not sure if he was touched.
Again, as we look at it, you'll notice Hilton had either a 5 or a 6-man line. Hilton's been going with a 4-man line, so to try and stop that run, Hilton goes to a 5 or 6-man line. And, the benefits of that, you're right there in Victor's face early, but the downside is if Victor happens to break through the line, there's not as many guys to tackle in open space.
Fiorica on for the extra point. This one is up, and it is good. A little love for Mr. Hampton on the hole, too. Nice job. And late here in the first quarter, Victor, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, 14-0. The number 2 seed staking their claim, looking for a spot in next Saturday's championship game. Well, big plays right now going to Victor, Jim.
They are. And
I don't see I've been scanning the field during that defensive set for the Cadets. I do not see Dante Valiant back out there, and that's going to hurt them on both sides of the ball if he can't resume getting this game.
Yeah, Dante brings another dimension to the game because sometimes he's that guy out there at receiver, but then quite often he'll be that 3rd running back in the backfield. So without changing personnel on and off the field, it allows Hilton to do some things. Right now Hilton, they can regroup. They got to look at the positives. And the positives are, they have been able to get that first level block. Man-to-man, they're doing a great job. Now they just got to bring it to that next level and climb to the linebackers. Because right now, Casey Cohane for Victor, their linebackers are flowing well. So for this offensive line to be successful here at Hilton, they just got to climb to those backers and good things are going to happen.
Yeah, you got to keep your defense off the field. They're getting some rest, too. It's Graham on the return. He's got some room. And he's going to bring it all the way up to near the 40-yard line. Nice. I beg your pardon. That's not Graham. That is number 18, Aiden Consul. Nice job on the return there. That was one of those low kickoffs. He easily could have fumbled that or bobbled it before on the catch, Jim. But nice job. I think the wind got a hold of that one.
Hey, special teams have been going Hilton's way. They had that turnover and that opening kickoff. They're bringing the ball out to nearly the 40-yard line. So, special teams can go a long way in getting a team that energy they need to find success on the offensive and defensive side of the balls.
Hilton takes over his own 38-yard line. Down 14-0, needing to get something going here against the Victor Blue Devils. Handoff, it's the up back. And some tough running there, carrying some tackles. A nice solid gain there of about 5 yards.
From here, it looked almost like that fullback trap where the
That's
fullback.
Graham, yeah.
Yep, where the fullback gets the handoff on one side, then he kind of slashes back towards the other way. And hey, this puts your offensive coordinator, Coach Lapani, in a great position. 2nd and 5, it really allows you to do a lot more things. So, for Hilton to find success, they've got to find that success on first down.
Okay, good news for the Cadets. Dante Valiant in the backfield right now. Just came out. I think this is his first play since the injury. He's lined up as one of the deep backs.
Yep.
He's going to get the handoff. And he cuts back the other way. He's going to get the corner. And a great gain and for a first down. He's landed now right about where he was injured. And young man's getting up slowly again. He's still struggling, but Baker with a nice gesture there to tap Dante Valiant with the first down for Hilton, their first one of the afternoon, and some tough running and a tough kid, Jim.
Hey, Jeff, that was that wishbone formation. A lot of coaches a lot of fans call it the wishbone. You got 2 tight ends, you got 3 running backs in the backfield, and the favorite play with Hilton is Dante follows his running backs. But if you notice, he used athleticism. He took like 2 steps to the left, looked like he was going to follow us back, and then he came to the right because he saw, the Victor defense collapse inside.
1st and 10. And that's Bedford. Plows through for 3 or 4 yards. Nice gain for Hilton. And I tell you what, if Trent Sherman doesn't make a tackle, Mr. Valiant could have taken that all the way, and that would have certainly changed this game.
Absolutely. And again, it shows you that Hilton's got that powerful run game, so they're pushing to the left. So then all of a sudden, you've got the Victor defense that's going in the direction of Hilton, and then when he decides to cut it back, there's just nobody there because Victor is swarming to the ball. You can see Hilton almost taking advantage of that swarming to the ball.
He picked up 3 yards. It's a 2nd and 7. Handoff this time, it's Valiant. He cuts, makes a good decisive cut, close to the 1st down. Dante Valiant's back, and Jim, you also I'm thinking as I'm not a doctor, I'll play one on varsity media, but you don't want this young man to get cool on that side. You want to keep him warm, right?
Yes, absolutely. Right now, Victor going a little personnel change here. They had more of their speed guys, and now they're going, they got Connor Williams back in there at tackle. He's going to kind of, set the center of the field and dictate where you're going to run and where you're not going to run.
3rd and 1. This is a big down, probably in 4-down territory, down 14-0 in this game. And but yeah, we'll see what we can do here. I'm thinking up back Graham here, Jim, a little quick hitter.
They really like attacking the middle.
It's a 1st down. It's Bedford, and he just keeps the legs pumping too. Solid gain there, 5-6 yards, and another 1st down for Hilton. Just what they ordered, Jim.
On the defensive side of things, Colin James and Kauser at the defensive edge are doing a great job setting that edge, making sure Hilton runs inside. Hilton says, okay, you're going to give us the inside. That's fine. We're going to put 3 backs in the backfield. We're going to go 2 tight ends. We're going to try and spread out your frontage, and we're going to attack you up the middle. And so, Hilton's found some answers with that wishbone formation.
Look at the side that line, Franzak, Connor Williams, and C.J. James, and Kauser on the other side. And just a huge line, and these big boys, Coons and company for Hilton, are getting the job done.
They're doing a great job.
Here's Valiant trying to look to bounce it outside, and Victor swarming this one up. Still a couple yards.
Once again, Hilton, they try attacking it a little bit, right about off tackle, then they try and bounce a little bit wider. But again, the linebacker core of Victor is just swarming to the ball and doing a great job.
That'll take us to the end of the 1st quarter, and it's just what the Victor Blue Devils wanted to see after that terrible start where they fumbled away the opening kickoff, and then the defense stood tall, and then it was 2 big plays, 53-yard touchdown by Rashawn Baker, and then Nick Benetti with a 45-yarder, and it's 14-0 for your Victor Blue Devils here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Hilton moving the ball, and certainly have given themselves some hope.
Right now, looking at that Hilton offensive.
By the way, the Jim Tressel vest is very nice.
You're liking this.
You know who Jim Tressel is.
I don't.
Used to be the Ohio State coach.
Oh, yes, with the gray. Yes.
Yeah, fantastic.
There it is. Yeah, so I had to go with a little bit of vest look here today. It's interesting watching Hilton kind of evolve during the game. Right now, you're watching that offensive line not only take care of the guys up front, getting their hands on people, but they're starting to climb, to Victor's linebackers. You got Casey Cohane back there, who has been flowing to the ball, tremendously all season. You got Broden O'Leary back there at linebacker, who's flowing well all season. But all of a sudden, Pierre, Salamone, Shahandi, Lennon, Coons, even Clark at the tight end blocking. Hilton is starting to find a little bit of rhythm, in their blocking package and what they're trying to do.
Got a 2nd and 9 here as we start the 2nd quarter. You saw Coach Lapani out there. His 35th year overall, 32nd with Hilton. The last Section 5 title, 1994.
Definitely not a rookie. Here's that wishbone formation we talked about, 2 tight ends, 3 running backs in the backfield.
And that's Bedford trying to bounce it out to the right side. Again, it got a couple yards, but better pursuit there by the Victor defense as the sun returns here at Victor.
You see different running backs touching the ball when they're in that bone formation, Jeff. And that's because the running backs are starting to rely on each other for blocking. In other words, I'm going to run the ball, you're going to block for me. You're going to, you're going to be running the ball, I'm going to block for you. And once you can, again, get that rhythm established, you're going to be in great shape. You're going to see Victor pin their ears back here. I wouldn't be surprised if they start sending, like I say, their inside linebackers, O'Leary, Casey Cohane. They're going to start attacking up the middle.
Wishbone backfield again, 3rd and 7. That's Valiant again. We got a flag coming in late here. He picked up a couple yards. It'll be a manageable 4th down, and we gotta.
Again, Broden O'Leary, that linebacker, he did a beautiful job of reading it.
It's a hold. It's a hold, Jim. That's a bad one for Hilton.
That can be a drive staller
Now they might decline this, Jim, because it's about a 4th and 5.
Yeah, this is this is going to be an interesting judgment call because as a staff, once you get inside the 30, you're knocking on the door of the red zone. You don't want them anywhere near it.
Well,
but you don't want them having that extra down. So it looks like they are going to march them back.
Yeah, they're going to accept this holding penalty, and it'll create a long 3rd down, and I guess maybe a little field position here too on the mind of Coach Mandel and his staff to accept that. It's going to be 3rd and 18, so 4th and 5, 3rd and 18. I'd say he probably made the right call here. Well, of course, he throws for 20 yards here. I'd be wrong. Just like the rain, me and the rain.
Exactly. And right now, we've got Victor with that speed rush package. You've got Harashak, who's in the middle. Also, Devin Pierce is the 2 down tackles. Quicker feet guys.
So Liberto, he's going to look to pass. One guy deep, and he's not going to get the ball off. He is sacked by number 55. That's your guy, Kellen Pierce.
Devin Pierce comes.
Pardon.
Yeah.
55 is Devin Pierce.
Yep, Devin Pierce, Jeff. If you notice, we just talked about that. These guys from Hilton, their offensive linemen are outstanding. For big guys, they're moving their feet well. But Victor's going to want to put that pressure on. So, again, they bring in that speed package to rush, and it paid off there.
Rolled him out to the right, and good pursuit all the way around by Victor. And there was only one guy he could pass to, and he was covered. So it was a good decision by Siliberto to not put the ball up for grabs. And it's going to stay right here at 4th and 18. Early in the second quarter here at Victor, Blue Devils 2 long touchdown runs to put themselves up 14-0.
Here's that double wing formation.
Oh, boy.
They put Dante in motion.
Backside pursuit's coming. He's got to cut it up, but, boy, just all over him. 57, Benetti's in there, 56 is in there. Just Broden O'Leary, and just a tremendous pursuit, again, by Victor.
Number 14, Isaiah Kauser, he wasn't in on the tackle, and sometimes as fans are watching, they're looking, okay, who made the tackle? But when you get a defensive end, Jeff, that can set the edge, and you make that running back kind of hesitate, chop his feet a little bit, that allows your pursuit backside to get to the football.
Victor will take over at its own 37-yard line, not even nursing, but that 14-0 lead here in the Class AA semifinals. Section 5 football on Varsity Media Sports Network. Baker up the middle, looking right side. He's got some more running. Good cutback and a good tackle to stop that from being a 1st down play. William Salamone on the tackle, but not before Baker picks up about 8 yards.
You know what excites me? Number 89, Nick Leonard.
Freshman.
Maybe because I was a tight end back in the day. I don't know. But when you see a tight end that goes out there and they get their hands on people and they block, they realize, listen, you're an outside tackle, okay? As much as sometimes we'll throw you a ball, you are an outside tackle. And to see him put his hands on people and drive his feet, that just fills my tank seeing tight ends block.
It's going to be a 2nd and 1, 46-yard line. Knapp hands off again. It's Baker up the middle. He's got 1st down yardage and more. Again, running downhill, falling forward. Nice job by Rashawn Baker. Another 1st down for the Victor Blue Devils as he crosses into Hilton territory.
You see Tyler Hobson, number 78 for Victor. He's there where his running back gets tackled, which shows you that he's moving his feet. He's going downfield, making those hits.
And it's more than just the initial block.
Oh, it's more than the initial block. You're finishing it. And when linemen are downfield, it makes it hard for linebackers to flow. And Hilton has an outstanding linebacker core that flows well.
You got Kauser and Knapp split wide left. In the slot also is Jensen, but it's a handoff to Baker. Here he goes, breaking into the secondary. He could go again. Nice cutback, and he's going to go. Another touchdown for Rashawn Baker. And Victor is going to push himself out to at least a 20-0 lead. Great blocking, great running. More of the same for the Victor Blue Devils.
Quite often you'll see that shiftiness. You'll see guys that can swing and swivel their hips. But it's usually a running back that's maybe 160, 170 pounds. You just don't see it from a big guy like Rashawn. And that's what makes him a special athlete, Jeff.
Well, he's got to be pushing 150 yards on the day, and we're not even midway through the second quarter. And once he breaks into the secondary, boy, it's lights out.
Yeah, he's an excellent athlete one-on-one. He can make you miss. And if you don't miss, he's not afraid to lower his shoulder, obviously, and there's going to be a collision.
Max Fiorica, again, true on the extra point, and it's 21-0. Victor over Hilton, and just another big ball game for Baker, who, it's possible. He came into the day with 747 yards. It's possible the way things are going, this young man could hit 1,000 yards today, Jim.
With his explosive ability, his sense of once you get past the linebackers to daylight, his breakaway speed, that's entirely possible. Right now, Hilton's got to, Landon Siliberto, the quarterback, he's got to get his guys together and say, listen, we've done good things with receiver spread. We've done good things in the wishbone. Guys, we just got to put these pieces together.
Yeah.
And if they do, they can continue, to move the ball down the field. They've got to finish some drives. But, they've done great things out of each formation. Now they just got to string it together.
That's 16 touchdowns now in the season for Rashawn Baker, staking his claim to be in the argument for All-Grade Roster Player of the Year. He was an AGR pick a couple years ago as a sophomore. I know he battled some injuries last year, but certainly, and I can tell you from being on that Democrat and Chronicle committee for more than 2 decades, you win a trophy, you win a championship, you have a bit of an edge there to stake your claim to Player of the Year over someone who doesn't win a championship. So
finding ways to win. Our best athletes, they find ways to win.
Low line drive kick never gets off the ground, and it's fielded by nutback for Hilton. So what's the strategy? Why is no one kicking the ball in the air anymore, Jim?
I don't know. I'm supposed to have some answers, and I really don't. I love kicking the ball deep. For me, starting. See, it just gets hard, especially versus a team like this. When you're starting on the 42-yard line. As far as I'm concerned, if I'm Hilton, this is 4-down territory for me. If
you're down 21 points, you got it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You should make your play calls that way.
There it is, and it does. It opens up the playbook a little bit. But on the other hand, though, too, I think it's because Victor respects, those ball handlers of Hilton. They've got some playmakers. Let's face it. Some Hilton, a Hilton back catching the ball, he breaks it for a 40-yard run. It's a great evener. So, I do understand. Let these guys start on their own side of the 50.
42-yard line to start it. Siliberto looking deep. He's looking for Clark again. This one is picked off. Rashawn Baker steps in front. Ill-advised pass, and it's intercepted. Looking for Carter Clark, and Baker doing it on both sides of the field. He had a beat on that one the whole way, Jim.
It's interesting, Jeff. We talk about his vision as a running back because when you're an athlete, it's all about playing and doing sports and athletics in space, okay? So that's the reason why they like to put Rashawn Baker back there at the free safety, because at the free safety position, it's the same thing. The free safety position, you want to analyze space. You want to get to where the action is, and Rashawn read that the whole way. He did a great job to break on the ball.
Well, not what you want to see if you're Hilton, and Victor can just grab this game right by the throat completely now. Taking over at the Hilton 49-yard line. Off to the right side. It's Benetti. Is it Benetti?
Yep.
Oh,
Yes.
He nearly went. A touchdown saving tackle by number 14 from Hilton, Tim Hubbard, or that would have been a 49 touchdown. Oh.
Yep.
We got a hold on the Blue Devils. This one's coming back. Nice run by Benetti.
Okay, this is where Hilton needs to capitalize on this. They say, okay, we're going to put.
Was it Benetti or was it Knapp? I beg your pardon.
No, it was Benetti who ran the ball. He had that nice cut. Looked like he was going to go out wide, and all of a sudden he cut up through that off-tackle hole. Now, if you're Hilton, this is where you got to get excited. Guys, 1st and 20. Okay.
Let's win this down.
Yeah, absolutely, because, again, Victor would be on the other side of the 50. Traditionally for Victor, they like to go for it when they're down by the 40, so that would be that, again, 4-down territory. What do we mean by that, folks, is when you got 4 downs to try and get that 10 yards as opposed to 3, because you're in your own territory, you're going to punt it. It makes a huge difference in what you're going to be calling.
Yeah, you gain 3 yards of play, and it's a first down.
Absolutely.
All right, handoff up the middle. It's Baker again. Baker, oh boy, this could be another one. All the way, Rashawn Baker. That one's going to be a 60-yard touchdown run. And like I said, he might get to 1,000 today, Jim Andre. His 3rd touchdown on the day, Rashawn Baker for the Victor Blue Devils.
Bonzak, Hobson, Williams, Harashak, Rader.
And then he splits 2 defenders, and he cuts back on Bedford, and it's a touchdown. Boy, we're going to call that one 60 yards.
The big guys up front, they did a great job, initially picking up Hilton. Hilton even crowded the line of scrimmage with their linebackers a little bit, trying to find something. But, again, Victor's up front. They did a great job getting their hands on people and then getting to that second level with the linebackers. And before you know it, Rashawn is off to the races again.
Well, it's 28-0, and we're going to need to talk a little about at what point now do you start to manage your roster if you're Jeff Mandel? Or do you still pedal to the floor?
For right now, I see Victor maybe doing that in the second half. Right now,
you keep playing.
Right now, the first half, we got to make sure, because we're going to be preparing for an outstanding opponent next week, assuming that Victor keeps rolling here today. And you can't simulate game reps in a practice, Jeff. So I really think that for Victor right now, you got to get these guys used to competing, game reps, and then in the second half, if we're looking at a similar score, then we could do that. For Hilton, it's regroup time. And again, sometimes as a coach, you've just got to identify the positives. These are the things we've done well, and keep attacking those positives.
Well, he's got 150 yards by my count in touchdown runs alone. So he's probably over 950 yards now. I think we're going to have a 1,000-yard day for the season for Rashawn Baker. Good return here by Hilton. Number 17, nice job, Ryan Kurtz. Fields the ball and very opportunistic, takes it up the left sideline. And a great drive start here for the Cadets. Again, what they needed to do, but they got to get this one you can't come back empty with. You got to get some points on the board, right?
Ryan Kurtz showing some great athleticism. I think you mentioned it before, being a shortstop. You get there, you bend those knees. Don't just fall on it, especially in this point of a game. If it's a close game, you're going to fall on it. Just give your team possession. But you know what? Someone's got to be a spark for this Hilton team, and that could be it because they're starting, on the Victor 41-yard line, and here they are.
Valiant is split wide left. Motion man comes across. That's Bedford. Hand up the middle. It's Graham, and he's hit immediately by number 74. Is that
Franzak?
Franzak, yeah. Wow, big hit. Good tackle.
One of the things you teach your kids on the defensive line is sometimes hit and sit. Sometimes when you hit the guy, you all of a sudden want to pursue and you want to leave your area. But, let the linebackers go chase things down. We want you up front to hit, sit, because quite often it's come back to you. You saw Hilton run what used to be called years ago that little crossbuck where you kind of fake it to one guy going one way and you give it to the other guy going the opposite. But Franzak, he played a textbook. Hit, sit, the guy's going to come back to you, and there he was.
No gain on the play. I'll bring up a 2nd and 10 as we pass the 7-minute mark here in the first half. Siliberto out of the shotgun this time. Valiant in motion. It's a little pitch play. That's a pass. And not a lot of space to move. And more great pursuit. That might be a loss of a yard there. 57, 56. Call him out. Broden O'Leary and Joe, how do you say his last name?
Harashak.
All right.
Yep.
No gain again for the Hilton Cadets. And, boy, I think at this point you're going to have to try to roll the dice, put this ball in the air. He did get, he has gotten time to pass the ball, Siliberto.
Yes. Quite often football coaches will do what's called a pursuit drill. They'll have the football in one part of the field, and then the whole team as a group has to, the 11 guys in the field, you got to pursue to the ball and take your angles. Again, I thought Victor did a real nice job pursuing the ball right there and getting 11 hats to the football.
Got a 4-wide set here, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Siliberto, he's going to look, now here comes the pursuit. Steps up, we might have a hold. And he's going to get pushed out of bounds by Benetti. And, boy, that was a lot of pursuit. And that looks like it might be a late hit or unnecessary roughness on Mr. Benetti.
Looks like he might have finished that tackle just slightly out of bounds. The official threw the flag.
You know what I'll say? I'm not sure if the young man can tell where he is on the field.
It's tough because when you're wrapping guys up, you're taught, and we drill it every day, wrap up, drive your feet. Wrap up, drive your feet. And then all of a sudden, when you got your face tied up in the guy's cloth, it can be challenging to see that.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, and it's I don't think it was a dirty play. Yeah, we're going to have a hold, and we're going to have unnecessary roughness, personal foul, exactly what we thought. And again, it's unfortunate for Benetti, but again, they tried to pass, and this time the pursuit came. Kauser was in there. Lickety split.
And again, this is an opportunity for Hilton. Take advantage of this. All of a sudden, you can look at the positives that are happening in your favor. Where are we finding success? Hilton is finding success in that play action sometimes. They're freezing those Victor's linebackers. But they've got to keep going with that formation where they've had success, that wishbone formation with 3 guys in the backfield. That Hilton, look at, we're 2 tight ends, we're 3 running backs in the backfield. This is where we're running. This is what we do. You've got to try and stop us. So
this is where I think the scoreboard comes into play a bit, though. I think they're abandoning a little bit about their success because we need to score fast.
Yep.
And they're trying to figure out where we're going to spot this ball. And we'll step it off. And I will.
okay, because it was
It's
a
like deja
holding.
vu. I think I just went back into a time machine like about 45 seconds ago.
But, well, we had a holding, which is a spot foul. Okay, so that's going to move it back 10 yards from the spot. And then if it's an
Would be
unsportsmanlike,
15 yards ahead from there, right?
well, if it's a spot foul, which is holding, it's 10 yards. But it's from where the holding actually occurred. So I don't know exactly where that occurred. Usually the official will throw the flag there.
Well,
But then it could be a 15-yard, penalty for the unsportsmanlike.
They explained it to Coach Mandel, and I'm not sure if he was totally satisfied with the answer, but now they're going to confer and figure out where we're going to put this ball down on the field.
I'm assuming you're backing it up 10 yards from the spot, and then you go 15 yards forward from there. So we'll see how this works out.
More of an explanation for Coach Mandel, I think. Let's see. No, he's just going to run over and
Well, as football coach, we're patient guys, Jeff, right?
Yeah,
the
of
official
course.
calls something, we 100% support it.
all the coaches
Oh,
are
yeah,
like
of
that.
course.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
we never question things like that. It's
Well,
just
first we have a minute to say this. Congrats on having a spring that's free of coaching. I know that was important to you and your family. A great run for you as 8
thank
years
you.
as a head coach at the boys lacrosse program here at Victor.
yes, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And like I say, it's good for me because it's time for me to watch, my own sons play. They're playing club where they're at, and my own daughter, she's a junior right now, and after missing, all of her sophomore season, obviously because of COVID, and then missing, freshman year because I'm coaching, so I missed much of her games. Now it's time for me to be the dad in the stands, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. And I think the Victor Girls Lacrosse program has got a great team, so they'll be fun to watch.
Who was the new head coach here at Victor Boys?
It's Dan Stone. He was a modified coach for years, so basically him and I switched. I went to modified, and he took over as head coach, and I think the kids have really rallied around him. It's been a positive growth for the program, and I expect nothing but great things out of him this year.
All right, we got it all settled, and it's still going to be 3rd and 14 for Hilton. And now it looks like we might have a timeout. They want to, after all that stoppage of time, let's talk about it.
Absolutely.
So would it be accurate if the early season workouts for the Victor Varsity Boys lacrosse program, I would say it's been Stone in Love. That's way back. That's a song.
My
that was
goodness.
a song,
Is it really, man? That's
that was a Journey song. Stone in Love.
How about this? Seeing Journey play. This was back. It was 1985 at Hollander Stadium. Here. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
You saw him play in 1985. I never got to
did.
see Journey play. All right.
Yeah, amazing.
Well, I know these two teams are looking to journey to next Saturday's championship game. I was talking to Dewey Weimer, the athletic director at Victor,
Yes.
and he basically said that no matter who's hosting next week, this will be a Saturday night game, so mark that off on your calendars. I'm assuming the Victor planners probably have that out on their iPhone calendars right now.
Absolutely.
But, stranger things have happened in ball games. This would be a Buffalo Bills-like comeback, down 28 points.
But if anybody can do it, it can be Hilton. Coach Lapani's been around. He's been in situations like this.
Like I said, they're not going to quit.
No, they're not going to quit. And they've got the athletes that can make those special plays.
Well, I did some research, and we'll tell you about that a little later, but they usually come into the postseason as an underdog, as a higher seed.
Yep.
And that's certainly the case today.
And here's all those 4 wide receivers, 3 to one side, 1 to the other.
It's a long pass.
That little bubble screen.
And that's Valiant on the catch, and he's trying to get something going. And just took a long time for that ball to get over to him. And I think Victor had that one read pretty well, Jim.
It's interesting. When you go those 3 wide receivers, you do the bubble screen, you bring more defenders over to the field. So sometimes, you've got to make sure you get that ball out quickly, catch it, and handle it.
It's going to be 4th and 16, and I wouldn't exactly call Mr. Lapani the Riverboat gambler here, but why not? You're on the 46. You're down 28 points. Oh, I beg your pardon. They're going to punt this away.
Punting formation.
Interesting. Well, it's a long 16 yards to make. Let's put it that way. Maybe, and then Baker smartly doesn't even go near that ball. It's going to get a nice Hilton bounce inside down to the 3-yard line.
Wow.
So tough to second guess that because have you had a play today that's made 16 yards? If you're
and you know what? At this point, field position. And you got to kind of, figure out what are our successes here. Hey, there's 5 minutes on the clock. Here's success for us as Hilton. Let's hold Victor to a 3-and-out. And if we do that and we can get a point on the board, we can establish ourselves, in the second half because Hilton does get the ball in the second half.
Right.
You know.
Well, and the only thing I have in
and
my
that's what we
mind,
build on.
the only thing that's crossing my mind right now is a 97-yard touchdown for Rashawn Baker.
Well,
So this would be quite the way to go over 1,000 yards on the season.
this
So we'll see what happens, but I would think you're going to run him to get out of this little hole here if you're Victor.
You
All
know-
right, from the 3. It's 34 in motion. There's Baker, and he's gonna get a few, and but not much more than that.
You know, again, Hilton did a nice job of having their front four aggressively come upfield, making the tackle.
It's Kieran Boyce in the motion there. And Coons on the tackle for Hilton. Nice stop.
You know, number 79, Carl Coons, he does a great job of coming down the line, you know, shedding those blockers, wrapping up, making a play.
Boy, he and 78, Damian Casper, senior, 6'3", 350. This is a Hilton team that lost one of their top linemen before the start of the season, Joel Masura. So, all right, 2nd and 7 here from the 6. And it's Baker again, still going, breaking tackles. He started this one at the 6. Could he go 94 yards? He's got one man to beat, and he just rolls over Bedford, but the backside pursuit, and he almost did it. Touchdown saving tackle by Ryan Kurtz, and boy, I'd love to see that one again there, Varsity Media guys, because talk about rumbling, stumbling. Now
That's
watch
a
this.
perfect angle.
Now watch this.
Perfect angle.
Hit or be hit. And he just runs over Bedford, and Kurtz gets him. Boy, that's from the 6-yard line all the way down to the 27. So let's do 44 and 33. That's a 77-yard gain.
You know, again, Rashawn makes that one cut, that 2 cut. He makes the guy miss like 3 yards, at 3 yards where the linebacker is. And then he gets to the outside, and then it's just he's gone.
That's runs of 53 and 60 for touchdowns, and that one's 77. The rain picks up, and here goes Benetti to the right, stringing it out as the Hilton defense. And nice job there with a wrap-up by number 45 for Hilton. Very good job by Jake Soracone.
You know, again, you see the ability of the big guys at Hilton. You know, when you look at the field right now, there's nobody in red and white on the far side of the field. Those kids are all pursuing to the ball. So they're doing the right things. You know, Hilton is getting to the ball.
And that young man, Soracone, he's returned a fumble and interception for touchdowns this year. One of their playmakers on defense.
Yeah, those are the answers that Hilton is looking for.
2nd and 6 here for Victor as we approach the 3-minute mark of the first half. In full control, Knapp out of the shotgun. It's a little, again, Benetti up the middle. Good yardage there.
You know, Nick Benetti's not a big, heavy guy. You know, he might be 160, 170, somewhere there. But he runs like he's 30 pounds heavier. I mean, he just lowers his shoulder, drives his feet, uses that strength that he's built up in the weight room, and he really turns into a 10-yard gain or more.
And that one puts it right inside the 10-yard line at about the 8. Tough angle for us up here, but it's the 8-yard line. And Victor knocking on the door once again to end the half with an emphatic touchdown. This time under center, little tap on the rear end of Mr. Williams. And here comes the pitch right. It's Benetti off the right side. And he is close to the touchdown. He is in, dives to the pylon and in the end zone. It's another touchdown. He's got 2 on the day, and Baker's got 3 on the day. And it's a big, big lead for the Victor Blue Devils.
You know, great line surge out of Victor that time.
Student body right.
There it is. You know, and they're putting their hands on people. And once again, when you climb to that second level of linebackers, it makes it real tough, you know, for Hilton to flow and get over there and make that tackle.
Max Fiorico on once again. Maybe you try a 2-point conversion here just to mix it up? Work on something, or you want to show anything for next week, right?
I say keep it in your pocket because I would be willing to bet they do have a 2-point play, but that might be something they save possibly for next Saturday.
35-0 now for Victor, and this is, I think, 45, beg your pardon, 45 and 38, the high games on the season for the Blue Devils. 2:26 left in the first half, and it's a Victor team. I did a little look back at the last few years for them. Last year, it was a first-round exit to the rivals from Canandaigua, the 4-5 matchup, 24-10. 2018, it was a dramatic win for Irondequoit. Out at Brockport, 21-14 in the Class A championship game. That was an amazing game by Freddie June from Irondequoit. 2017, this was in Double-A. Victor exited in the semifinals, a 2-seed, losing to Aquinas, the 3-seed, 17-9. And then right before that, it was the last championship for these Victor Blue Devils. They won in 14 in Double-A over Pittsford, and in 16 also a championship game victory over Pittsford. So it looks like Victor is in great shape to get back to its first championship game since 2018.
You know, Jeff, every team is unique to its ability with its players or what they're known for, strengths and weaknesses, certain positions. But, you know, I think you coined the phrase best earlier when you talked about when you look at this Victor team, just the complete package that they are with great receivers, obviously a great running back core, an offensive line.
They have no weakness.
Yeah.
So what concerns you about them? Because they have no weakness.
Right, yeah. Yeah, because as you're breaking down, usually as coaches, you're breaking down film, you're in there. And
Where's the weakness, right?
What can we exploit? What can we take advantage of? Where can we put more of our guys that have a better shot at beating their guys? And, you know, in looking at this Victor defense, it's really tough to find that spot, you know, where you can attack them. You know, but again, you know, we've seen Hilton diversify their offense. We've seen 4 receivers. You know, we've seen that little double wing formation out of Hilton. We've seen that wishbone formation out of Hilton. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of answers they come up with. Here's that traditional twins, you know, 2 receivers on one side, tight end to the other with 2 running backs.
After the touchback,
and there's the ISO.
Bedford on the carry, bottled up and lost on the play there, at least one. Multiple Victor tacklers in the backfield there.
You know, O'Leary, quite often when linebackers make the tackle, you know, with Broden O'Leary, you're looking at linebackers making the tackle. It's like a 2-yard gain. But these linebackers just have faith to go. And when you have good defensive backs, it allows your linebackers to get to the point of attack quickly because you're not worrying, oh, you know, I better get to the flats or, you know, I've got, you know, what is my responsibility on the defense? You know, when you have faith in the other 10 guys because there's 11 on the field, when you have faith in the guys around you, it allows you to play more aggressive.
All right. Some positive yards here for the Cadets. Reminder, and I know all you Victor fans are going to be watching, 4 o'clock McQuaid against Pittsford right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network in the second AA semifinal today. We are moving close to 1 minute left in the ball game, and there's limping off the field. You don't want to see that if you're Victor. And that's Devin Pierce coming off the field, one of their top defenders.
You know, you mentioned the McQuaid-Pittsford game. I have not seen McQuaid play live, so we'll be interested, and it'll be fun to watch that. Pittsford we have seen. We know that, you know, the traditional Pittsford, they got the big guys up front.
3rd and 8 for the Cadets, trying to make something happen here at the end of the half. It's I'm not sure if that was designed a design snap to go to Graham, but that's where it went. And
it looked like it might have been a possible draw where it snapped to the quarterback and he hands it off, and your receivers run down the field, just trying to get these linebackers to maybe drop to the flats, maybe trying to get these defensive backs from Victor to kind of drop off a little bit.
And it looks like we're going to get one more play this half, probably. 4th and 10. What's Hilton going to do? And looks like they're trying to decide what they're going to do. They might just let the clock run out.
You know, they may because you know, high school football, when you're going to punt it, you risk the snap, team running it back. You know, a lot of things can happen.
Okay, so it looks like timeout Hilton with 9 seconds to go. And
if they were going to run a final play, I would have thought they might have brought it down to like 4 or 5 seconds, so that if you do run a play, because right now in 9 seconds,
I also can't see if Victor gets the ball. Them doing anything.
No, they would probably take a knee, yes, and go to the locker room. But you know, again, we'll see what they come up with here.
We appreciate you joining us here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Victor in good shape to get back to its first final in a couple years and try to win a 3rd title under Jeff Mandel. And the great coaching staff. It's certainly not just the head coach. All right, looks like they are going to punt it or no one deep again for Victor. And this is Nate Battaglia, who's done a nice job on those punts for Hilton today.
What a beautiful snap right to his hip.
Kauser. Oh, and he tries it again. Oh, boy, this is trouble. And it's Jensen on the return, and that's a really strange play.
Cody Jensen, number 1.
Wow, it's just we'll have to see that one again to talk about. It
looks like we have
Kauser looked like he snuffed the first attempt, and then did Battaglia try to do it a second? It's a touchdown.
It is a touchdown. Oh.
An unsportsmanlike
on Hilton.
Okay, so Jensen, I'm going to have to see if we can see that one more time to see. I don't know how far away he was when he actually got the ball. I think around the 10-yard line. And
There it is.
oh, I beg your pardon, about the 15, and it's a 15-yard, I guess, return. Wow. Okay. Well, you don't see that every day.
You don't. And I'm not quite sure Victor was really bringing the pressure on that from what I saw. It didn't look like they were rushing all of their guys. They're doing more of a stuff punt, just trying to hold them from covering. But again, all it takes is one guy to come in and put pressure on the ball.
And Kauser was the guy that stopped it initially and stopped the initial punt by Battaglia. And then I think he tried to get it off again, and that's when Jensen got the loose ball. So there might have been actually 2 blocks on that. I think Kauser blocked it, went back to Battaglia, and then Battaglia tried punting it again. And you said, punt the ball, punt the ball. He did. He certainly stuck to it. And now we're going to try, it's going to almost be like simulating a field goal here for Fiorica.
Well, this is a challenge. But again, you cannot simulate game reps. So this is a great opportunity to practice a field goal.
For next week. That's not going to make it. It's going to be short. But again, 41 nothing now. And that'll close the half. The last play of the half, that 9.5 seconds left. And it's a lot of action tucked into 9.5 seconds, Jim.
You saw a Victor team that's really right now clicking on all cylinders. Hilton, I'm sure they're going to head to halftime. They're going to regroup, find some answers, build on the positives, and come out and let's try and make some positive strides forward in the second half as they get the ball.
Well, we will take our halftime break here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. For Jim Andre, Jeff DeVeronica will be joining you back in a few minutes to get the second half action right here. Class AA semifinals on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
We want to thank everyone for doing their part in these challenging times.
No matter where we work from, we're still here protecting you and your family's rights.
We want you to know that we will always be here for you and your family.
Using our technology so we can protect you and your family no matter where we are.
For your free consultation, call or text 262-COMP today.
Your workers' comp attorneys.
Looking for a great way to commemorate this season's sectionals? Section 5 Athletics is excited to work with Mugs & More to offer a variety of apparel options for each sport and each season. Items include graphics specifically developed to feature the sport and year, including items such as hoodies, hats, pants, and more. Apparel for each season is available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. Visit section5.org/mugsandmore to see the many options and place your order today.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
There's a snap. Throws a screen. It's intercepted and ran right in for the touchdown. Wow, Colin James picks off the pass. He timed it.
Picked up by Dupress. Golden Blade. Picked up by Ryan Lucas Jr. Quarterback Ryan Drug Pass is picked up.
On the first play, Rager cuts the corner to 30 to 35 to 40 to 45 to 50. The 5, touchdown, Blue Devils. There's the snap, and back to pass. Throws straight across the middle. He's got a receiver open and in for the touchdown. Wow, what a play call on first down.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Cuts inside. Touchdown, Red Devils. Rosin coach Craig Murphy. There's you. What a move. And the foul.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Patience offensively against this excellent defense. Now the shot's fired. How about that? Right into the top of the cage off the stick.
Be second down and 3. Handoff this time right up the middle. And B.J. Clark is gone for the touchdown.
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone at 866-577-1950.
We want to thank everyone for doing their part in these challenging times.
No matter where we work from, we're still here protecting you and your family's rights.
We want you to know that we will always be here for you and your family.
Using our technology so we can protect you and your family no matter where we are.
For your free consultation, call or text 262-COMP today.
Your workers' comp attorneys.
Looking for a great way to commemorate this season's sectionals? Section 5 Athletics is excited to work with Mugs & More to offer a variety of apparel options for each sport and each season. Items include graphics specifically developed to feature the sport and year, including items such as hoodies, hats, pants, and more. Apparel for each season is available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. Visit section5.org/mugsandmore to see the many options and place your order today.
Welcome back to Victor Central Schools. My name is Jeff DeVeronica, along with our color analyst today. His name is Jim Andre, and before we get started with the second half of action here, I want to thank you for joining us. Reminder, 4 o'clock today, it's McQuaid against Pittsford on the Varsity Media Sports Network in the other AA semifinal. And I also want to a quick little plug for my radio show every Saturday at 9 a.m. The Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. We're brought to you by Salvatore's Pizza, and it's on Fox Sports 1280. We had Jim Andre on, our color analyst, in January when shortly after he announced he was stepping down as the varsity lacrosse coach here at Victor, and we joked that it'd be great to have you on as a color analyst sometime for lacrosse coverage, and
I called your bluff.
And you said, sure, whenever you need me, and
I told
here
you.
we are.
You know, Devo, I told you. I said, listen, interview. I said I would have just so much fun to be able to call a game with you.
Have you ever done this?
You know,
before this year?
I have.
Oh, okay.
I did last year. I did like one game. It was the Victor Canandaigua game. It was a lot of fun. You know, once again, I think Ben Turkin. I've never met the guy. He's like Bigfoot. I hear about him, but I've never actually seen the guy. You know,
He's not much to look at.
Okay, well there you go. Because he's like Bigfoot. Like I say, I talk to him all the time, but I've never seen the guy. So, I told him he asked me to do a game before with the Victor Canandaigua. I said I would love to. And then this season, if anything comes up, so I think they go through a list. 1, 2, 3, 14, 15 no's, and they finally get to me, and here I am. So I'm excited to be here.
Well, you're doing a great job. We appreciate
you.
it for sure. A lot of your great insight from being a football coach. And I know, you played at Cortland?
I did. I played football there. But, I'm going to put a plug in for your radio show because I love the coverage you give to high school sports because, quite often, I love the NBA and the NFL and college football, and that's all exciting stuff. But, I just love the high school aspect of things because these are kids that all of a sudden, you'll see them play on a Friday night or here you're playing on a Saturday afternoon, but then you run into them in the local ice cream shop or the restaurant. So I just love the whole excitement around high school sports, and thank you to you for bringing that to our community.
I appreciate that. It's been 18 years, and it's been great. I always took great pride in the work I did with Democrat Chronicle.
Yeah, the DNC was great.
Because this is their 15 minutes of fame for these kids.
Exactly.
I never mailed in a story on a high school athlete because it was their time to shine, and that scrapbook clipping is going to live in there for like 15, 20, 30, for infinity maybe, and they're going to show that clip to their kids. So
yes.
I always wanted to make sure they did it. They got their just due and their accolades.
And you can't underscore the importance of the extracurriculars. Whether it's the high school sports or the musical or the marching band, all that exciting stuff. And now as we're battling through these trying times.
All right, we are underway, and
just having football and all the spring sports going right now, it really brings up, just the feeling tone of the building around the high school. Just because I work in a high school, so I can speak to that.
It's been great to have sports back and have our, kids getting back into school more. It's been such a weird 13, 14 months that it's good to kind of get some normalcy back, and certainly having high school sports back and football and getting a season.
Huge part of that. It's a huge part of that.
I was at a ball game yesterday. I heard some mouthy fans getting after some coaches, and I'm like, man, did they just forget that it should be? You should be thankful we're having a season.
Absolutely.
All right, Hilton with the ball, and it's a good start. It looks like that's Bedford up the middle. A good solid gain there for the Cadets, trying to get something going here. Obviously, we don't project them scoring 42 points and winning this ball game, but like we said at the start of this broadcast, these are tough kids from Hilton. I have never seen a Hilton sports team quit, and I don't expect them to do that here. That being said, no one wants to see any kids take injuries here in a game that looks like it's probably been the winner's probably been decided.
But, again, though, watching Hilton, they're coming out. They got that two-receiver set, that twins, as sometimes people like to say, with the tight end opposite the field. They're running that traditional ISO that they do so well. That's where the fullback leads up through the hole. Give it to the tailback is the second back through, and they're having success. They're hitting, they're hitting the hole hard, and they're finding some yardage.
That's Bedford there. Picked up another yard, brings up a very manageable 3rd and 3. Hilton only has about 3 or 4 first downs on the day. And trying to pick one up here to get the second half started on the right foot. I have not seen Dante Valian come back out yet, so I'm hoping that his back didn't seize up or cause many problems, but that's certainly a concern. Up the middle, Bedford makes the first guy miss. Still,
he's got that second and third effort still. You mentioned it earlier, Jeff, that not quit mentality of Hilton, and they're doing a good job of that.
This young man has had some big games. In fact, in week 3 against Rush, he had 219 yards on 38 carries, a classic Hilton back there where 38, 40 carries in a ball game.
You know, William Salomon, number 72, that left guard for Hilton, comes up limping on that play. You know, him and the rest of the line, you know, with his buddies up front, Kellen Peer, Mason Shahandi, you know, Jacob Lennon, Carl Coons. You know, these guys have been getting their hands on people, driving their feet, doing some good things today. 4th and short.
Going to go for it, obviously, here and see what they can do and pick one up. I don't think they've gone for a 4th down to try to convert. Actually, maybe they did on the other side of the field. So quarterback sneak, Siliberto, not much push and second effort. He's still going. Victor not giving an inch here.
You know, the linebackers, you know, they recognize that quarterback sneak is coming. It looks like those linebackers crept up and spotted the ball. Devo from your angle?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be short, and the Victor sideline's excited about it, as well as they should be. Get a chance to square off and hold them there. I will say this about this Hilton team. They're not going to be a Section 5 champion, but they will go down in history as the first Hilton team to beat Aquinas in their history. And that was coming off the loss to Victor in week 3, 28-7. And then they went home, and they beat Aquinas 28-14 in a great bounce-back win to show
that had to be a
resilience.
great atmosphere in Hilton that night because, you know, as we know, Aquinas, that perennial powerhouse with, you know, state titles, many sectional titles. So anytime you can beat, you know, a team like an Aquinas, it's those moments, like you said, Jeff, during a season that you can look back on, you know, that thing to hang your hat on for success.
And, of course, it was going to turn over on downs. Ball's going to go to Victor for its first possession here in the second half. And in that ballgame, Valiant had 237 yards.
Wow.
Against Aquinas. And, again, I'd mentioned this is a Hilton program that has lost in the last 5 years, twice in the semifinals, and 2 of the losses in the last 5 years have been to Aquinas. All right, it's
Ryan Travers, number 45.
Almost in for the touchdown. He's going to take it down near the 5-yard line. And there's a backup there doing some good stuff to let Coach Mandel know. He's a senior.
Ryan Travers. Yep, he did a real nice job in that fullback position, getting the handoff, getting right up behind his offensive lineman, and then all of a sudden breaking the daylight.
He's going to put the ball down, it looks like the 7-yard line. 8-yard line. Thank you. And that's Knapp still in at quarterback. I know Matt Brady was the quarterback who came in the backup a couple weeks ago. Expect to see him soon. Connor Bowman looks like he's the deep back now for Victor.
Yep, he's at tailback with Ryan Travers at fullback in front of him.
This is Bowman, and he's through, and it's an 8-yard touchdown run for Connor Bowman.
You know, once again, the guys up front, Franzak, Hobson, Connor Williams, Joey Harashak, Ty Rader, you know, just getting things up done with the tight ends, Franzak or Nick Leonard, just the guys up front getting it done.
Bowman, a nice changeup for them. He's got over 300 yards rushing on the season, and Fiorica up and again good for the extra point for the Blue Devils. It's going to punch it up to a 48-0 lead early here in the third quarter.
Well, let's see if Victor does your deep kick you've been asking about, Jeff. Let's see.
Yeah, let's go. Let's try it. I'd love to hear what the theory is on that.
Well, again,
they don't want to see a return. I get that.
Absolutely, because again, Hilton has some great athletes. You know, you don't want to give them the opportunity. Well, you saw when they did kick it short for, I think it was Hilton number 17. Was it Ryan Kurtz, I believe, earlier in the game? Yeah.
Yes.
He did a great
Scooped
job
it.
feeling
Yep.
right, and he turned into like a 13 or 15-yard gain. You know, off handling the ball.
Well, hats off to all the fans. It's not warm out there. The wind is blowing a little bit, and probably with the wind chill, we're probably into the 40s. But
feels like football weather.
It does. It certainly does, and it's weird seeing like next Saturday when they're playing a championship game that kicks off at 7 o'clock. It'll be that light out at 7 o'clock for a Section 5 championship football game. Usually it's dark by 7 o'clock when it's Section 5 title time. So
right, and if McQuaid wins, it'll be at McQuade because they're the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
And if Pittsford happens to win, then it would be at Victor.
And that would be a rematch of last week, and 35-14. Victor handed it to Pittsford last week, and the two. And I'll tell you this: the two championships in Jeff Mandel's history, the two championship games he won were both against Pittsford.
There you go.
But certainly McQuaid is the decided favorite. Wind may be working its way on that one, and looks like another decent return, and he could break free. Nice tackle. That's Graham on the return. Nice tackle there by number it's tough to see in the jersey. Is it 4?
Is it 4? Yeah, Jensen. There's 2 Jensens.
Right, brothers.
The twin brothers.
Twins,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Are the Knapp boys twins too?
They are. Yep, Trevor and James. You know, it's always interesting, you know, how rivalries evolve because you know, Victor was a Finger Lake school for years. You know, our big rivalry was, you know, we always considered it Canandaigua, and I remember
absolutely, yeah.
And this was like years ago when Jim Hall was head coach, and he had first taken over. And I remember, you know, they interviewed a Canandaigua kid about the rivalry. He goes, and the Canandaigua kid, this was back then, said, well, it's not really a rivalry because we beat Victor every year. And I was like, well, that's interesting, but he wasn't wrong at the time because this was like years ago, you know. But then as Victor schools grew, you know, it was time for us to go to Monroe County. And it was, I don't want to use the word controversial, but a lot of people in the community questioned, like, geez, you know, Victor's going to Monroe County. What about those great games, you know, when they were playing, you know, the Newarks and the Waterloos and the Mid-Lakes. But they just weren't good games anymore because Victor had grown so much.
Right, and it was going to keep growing.
And they kept growing.
And the games would have been more lopsided. And certainly I know there's some people that maybe some of the smaller sports were worried about it. But, you know, you give kids opportunity to play and to play up, they're going to rise to the occasion.
Exactly.
It's Bedford on the carry.
Seeing some different personnel in the game here for Victor.
It's going to be a 3rd and short here. A 3rd and 4 maybe for Hilton.
Yep.
Yep,
on the defensive line, you got Joe Santola up front.
Nuts about the spot there for the Cadets, but 3rd and 5. We'll see. And, you know, the word, I remember doing that story 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, I beg your pardon. One of my last big stories for the DNC was the quote from Ron Wickham that he gave me from a guy named Jeff Crane, who said to Ron Wickham, you've got to take the job as athletic director here at Victor because Victor is a sleeping giant. That's a pass complete to Carter Clark, and it's going to be a 1st down for the Hilton Cadets.
It's that nice play-action boot, you know, once again trying to freeze those Victor linebackers.
And that's the one that Baker jumped or in the game and got the interception.
Exactly.
What an afternoon, though, for Rashawn Baker. We don't expect to see him the rest of the way.
Most likely not, but, yeah. And I was glad that the folks watching at home got a chance to see, you know, his ability to not only run in the open field, okay, but those jump cuts he makes, you know, before he gets to the line of scrimmage, where he reads his blockers. He does a great job. He has fantastic vision. Nice tackle by Nick Leonard. Also jumping in on that tackle. Looks like number 40, Sam Rickey, did a real nice job reading that misdirection. Hilton kind of faked the handoff one way and then gave it to someone else going the other. And Victor did a nice job of playing that out.
2nd and 7 coming up here for the Cadets, trying to get on the scoreboard here. Siliberto still in a quarterback, and I think Bedford is the deep back. He gets the handoff. Good cut, cuts to the left, good spin move, and he's going to have a 1st down. Nice run there by Jason Bedford.
You know, number 25, Jason Bedford, his athleticism, he continues to impress me. And all of a sudden you think he's going down, he's got that spin, stays on his feet to move the chains.
He's 5'11", 175. I'm going to say that's dripping wet 175.
I was going to say.
But he has elusiveness, and I really admire that. If you're a featured back for Rich Lapani, there's going to be those games where you know you're going to sleep well that night because you're going to get a whole bunch of carries.
You're going to get a lot of touches during the game.
Now he's going to go split out wide to the right on this one. 1st and 10 for the Cadets at the 31-yard line, and they're going to look to throw. And he's got him, and he's got it. Oh, wait, I think he slipped, or could have been even more, but that's going to be another 1st down for Hilton.
You know, again, Hilton moving the chains. You know, I thought that number 25, Jason Bedford, did a real nice job with his pattern. You know, as coaches, we often talk about, you know, when you're going to run those hitches or those curls, whatever you want to call it, depending which way you're moving after your break, you got to come back to the ball. And he did a real nice job coming back to the ball on that.
Almost into the red. They're right at the 20-yard line now. Hilton trying to get something on the board here in the Class AA semifinals. Nice ball thrown there by Landon Siliberto. Hand off to the up man from the 20-yard line. He might go in. And that is Graham charging, and he's gone now. Boy, I think they're going to mark it at the 3-yard line.
You know, Trenton Sherman did a great job getting over there defensively. But again, you know, you're seeing Hilton run the ball, pass the ball, and they're finding some answers here in the third.
Nice job by the senior there, 5'11", 205 pounds, Josh Graham. Some tough running at the end of that run and showed some good speed getting to the outside too. All right, their deepest penetration of the day at the 3-yard line. 1st and goal for the Hilton Cadets.
2 tight ends, receiver wide to the right. There's that famous Hilton ISO.
And Bedford is close.
He's
no
real close.
Signal yet. It looks like they're going to call him short of the goal line here.
Jaden Tantilla, number 10, does a great job assisting on the fill for that Victor defense.
73 with a good block there for Hilton also. Jake Lemon. And we'll see if they can punch one in here.
You know, it's that Hilton ISO play for the folks at home. ISO generally means the fullback is leading up through to try and block the linebacker. The tailback generally follows through right after him. And you're going to see Hilton right now go with 2 tight ends because they want to spread out that Victor defensive line. And good job by Hilton.
Jason Bedford over the right side for the touchdown. And Hilton is on the scoreboard here. Good blocking up front. 79 and 73. That's Carl Coons on the right side, right tackle. And then 73 is Jake Lemon. Nice job there clearing the way for our guy Jason Bedford in for the touchdown.
You know, and that was a nice drive Hilton put together. They're looking at, you know, running left, running right, a nice throw.
And I can see some of the Victor's nice boot there by Battaglia there for the extra point. And it's 48-7. But it's not I see a few starters in the defensive backfield still out there for Victor and a couple guys up front. So it's not a full second unit for the Blue Devils, but obviously some younger guys in there.
Great opportunity to see what your future is going to look like here.
Yeah, number 81 is in there, Adam Kamagate.
For Hilton there,
I beg
correct?
your pardon, 81. I'm looking at the wrong roster. Kyle Geitler.
Yep.
He's a senior, 6'1", 195. Another one of those big, again, depth for the Blue Devils. Tell me about Nick Leonard, freshman with looks like a whole boatload of experience. Does he play other sports?
Multi-sport athlete. He's also a basketball kid. Does a real nice job. He's got great hands. He's also a lacrosse player coming up through the program. And you know, as coaches, we love multi-sport athletes. You know, it was funny because someone interviewed. It was Devin York, my buddy down in Canandaigua, there, the lacrosse coach down there. They asked him if he was concerned about some of his football players at Canandaigua still playing football as the lacrosse season gets started. But, you know, as coaches, we like multi-sport athletes because you heard me mention earlier, you know, in the broadcast here, Jeff, about game reps. Okay, but there's also that competition rep that you get by being a multi-sport athlete. You know,
sure.
too many kids try and say, well, I'm just going to, you know, do this sport or I'm just going to do this one sport. But, you know, here at Victor and elsewhere, we really do value our multi-sport athletes.
That's a good boot right there. It's a good deep
That's a
kickoff.
great kick.
Jensen on the return, I believe, almost dragged down from behind, and finally, nice job on the tackle there by number 17.
Wrapped up, number 17, Ryan Kurtz.
That's Kurtz again doing a nice job on special
teams. He could be our special teams player of the game right
absolutely, there. Absolutely. There's a nice boot by Battaglia showing a really strong foot for Hilton, and a good return there by Jensen, which that young man, think about it, he fumbled the first play of the kickoff of the game, and he's out there doing a great job, and he had that great recovery on the punt at the end of the half.
It looks like Matt Brady, number 13, is at the helm for the Blue Devils.
Give that young man credit. Last name Brady, quarterback, and he says, I'm not going to have 12. I'm not going to wear 12. I'm going to wear 13. He came in and did a nice job against Monroe a couple weeks ago for Victor, the backup quarterback, and that's I think that's Sam. Called his name a lot a couple weeks ago. Sam Ricci.
Ricky, yes.
Ricky?
Yep, he's doing a great job.
That was 45. I beg your pardon, it was 45. I don't think it was him.
I just got a text from Coach Jason Benham from Gates Jolly.
Travers again. Sorry.
No, that's right. Jason Benham out there at Gates Jolly. Have you seen Gates Jolly facility, by the way?
Oh, I've seen it on video.
It's incredible.
Well, I would say Canandaigua was pretty nice.
Canandaigua's got a beautiful
right
setup
there
down there.
too.
Exactly.
Beautiful scoreboards. Hilton's got a nice scoreboard. I don't think it's as nice as the one I've seen at Gates, but yeah, I'd like to see that sometime very soon. This is the Class AA semifinal for Section 5 football, and of course, coming up at we hitting 4 o'clock. 25 minutes on another Varsity Media channel. Of course, you can find the McQuaid game, the top seeds taking on the Pittsburgh Panthers. Pittsburgh getting into the sectionals with a 3-3 mark, and of course, McQuaid, the defending champion, at 6-0. Okay, up the middle. That might be Ricci.
Just got a text from.
I beg your pardon. That's Bowman.
Just got a text from Mr. Jeff Owens. He's the athletic director at East Rochester. He was a Victor guy. He's done a great job over there in ER. Great tradition over there in ER in athletics too.
Yep, and I think that's the hometown of one Jeff Mandel, I believe.
And Sean Rucker. And actually, I did my student teaching there also.
Home of champions.
Home of champions, and man, it was. Those kids work hard too. Always impressed by what ER accomplishes year in and year out. You know, being a smaller school and.
It's the first turf field in Monroe County for a high school athletics.
I remember because Ron Wickham, he was an AD here, but he's on the school board there, and they put that turf field in, and immediately we're all jealous. It was beautiful.
Victor from their own 48-yard line. And Bowman again. He's done a nice job in a backup role, over 325 yards on the season carrying the ball for Connor Bowman. Another one of those young, tough guys. He's not the biggest guy, but he's tough. 5'8", 165. And he's in there getting hit.
Yep, we got some new guys up front for Victor.
Marcus, is that the DB there? Marcus Hampton
Marcus
on the
Hampton.
offense?
Yes.
He's going to line up in the backfield here. Looks like we're going to get a punt. Is
formation.
he up back? And that's James Knapp going to punt the ball, right? Yeah. It's a good-looking kick.
That's going to be tough to field.
Yeah.
There it is.
Boy, look at the bounce. It bounced right away from the Hilton Hilton player, number 13, the deep back there.
You can hear Hilton yelling poison. It's that universal word that all coaches use, and to make sure they get away from the ball.
Hilton coming off its first touchdown of the afternoon, takes over late here in the third quarter, down 48-7. It was the Rashawn Baker show in the first half, folks. Just a 45-yard touchdown run, a 53-yard touchdown run. He had a 77-yard run. He had an interception, a 60-yard touchdown run. Nick Benetti with a couple touchdown runs from, I believe, 37 and 9 yards. Just a tremendous job.
It's interesting. You see Rashawn Baker running down the field, as you mentioned, Jeff, those big gains that Baker would have. So all of a sudden, you're going to be a little tired, a little fatigued. So Nick Benetti goes running on the field, and before you know it, he's busting through for 9-yard gain, 14-yard gain. Just a great 1-2 punch out of the Victor backfield.
Benetti had around, I think, 200 yards on the season coming into this game, and about 125 actually. And he probably almost at least half of that now in this ball game.
Did a great job.
And also a tremendous job as a linebacker too. We had a flag on the play. Sun has been trying to fight its way into existence here, but it's been going in and out. You can see it shine on the field now and the players. Okay, they're going to take over now deep in their own territory, about the 13-yard line for the Cadets. Siliberto in at quarterback still.
Yep, it's that traditional pro I formation where you got, two receivers, 2 running backs.
Oh, it's a fumble.
And it looks like Victor recovered.
Yeah, right. Fumbled snap. And Victor's going to take over here. Looks like number 10 got it for the Blue Devils. It's Jaden Tantillo on the recovery, I believe. And now the backups for the Blue Devils get a chance to put one in the end zone. From the 13-yard line, they'll take over here. And you got to let the kids play. I know you're certainly not going to have anybody take a knee here.
No.
These kids have tried hard and worked hard all year long and have a chance now. It's Connor Bowman in the backfield, the deep back. Looks like it's at 34, the up back. Kieran Boyce. Brady, the handoff, the up back, that is Boyce. And he's going to be taken down for a short gain.
Hilton again doing a nice job just stopping that fullback dive. Once again, as a defensive lineman, you always want to try and come across the line of scrimmage. You want to try and make contact, with that running back before he gets to that line of scrimmage. Much easier to take him down before he gets that momentum going. I thought Hilton did a nice job with that.
It's like one of those new linemen in there for Hilton, actually. Jaden Whitfield, 6'2", 230-pound junior tackle. Good size there. Trying to impress for next year. 2nd and 9, so a gain of 1 there for Boyce. He's again the up back, Brady. This one hands off to Bowman. Bowman cuts it upfield, and he'll be stopped short of a first down by a few yards. Nice round of applause from the Victor faithful.
Great line surge by the Victor Blue Devils. You're also seeing this Hilton crew, who we sometimes say scrape across. Their linebackers are making contact. They're scraping across and getting to the point of attack where the ball is, and doing a great job. It'll be interesting to see Hilton pin their ears back. You're probably going to see them walk up their linebackers.
3rd and 4. This will be probably our last play, unless they put it in the air, of the 3rd quarter. And see what happens. Okay, same backfield still. Boyce and Bowman, Killer Bees, and Brady at quarterback.
There it is, the 3 of them.
It's Bowman up the middle. Could be close to. He's got the first down. He's in for the touchdown. Connor Bowman from about 6 yards, 7 yards out. Another Victor touchdown.
Again, it's that front line of Victor, even with this next group in there, are doing a great job getting their hands on people, driving people back, climbing to linebackers.
Replay
and they're
here.
finding success.
Certainly what you don't want to see anyone down on the field. Victor, Joey Santola, the injured Victor player. Hopefully it's just a cramp and nothing more. Watch that touchdown run here. Nice little cutback by Bowman. Takes a hit and keeps going, and just, again, disappears in the pile, and then he's out. He's in for the touchdown. A couple touchdowns here in the 3rd quarter for Connor Bowman.
And what a beautiful day here at Corbett Field. The wind is kind of a cross breeze coming across here, but beautiful sunny day.
Santola, a little ginger on one of his legs here, limping off the field. Wish him the best. So that would be a neat story for the Democrat and Chronicle, because there's actually the Irondequoit Field's named after a guy named Gordon Allen, I think.
Okay.
And I don't know who he is.
There you go.
Who is Corbett Field? Who is Corbett? Who is Mr. Corbett?
Alton B. Corton was an educator. I think he became into like a superintendent one time too. I'm sure some of the Victor faithful, the Victor historians, are probably waiting to correct me on that. But huge supporter of athletics.
So Fiorica again with the extra point. I wonder who's the backup kicker? Would you want to get your backup kicker a shot here?
I believe the backup kicker's name is Gopher 2. I think his last name is 2. First name is Gopher 2, I believe, is what his name is.
55-7 Blue Devils. If Seth Davis was here, he would say Sharpie. They punched their ticket for next week's championship game. Again, if Pittsford were to upset McQuaid, Victor would host next weekend on a Saturday night. And if McQuaid marches on to the final,
so
McQuaid will host.
I think for the first time ever, Devo, we're going to have some Victor people cheering for Pittsford. This will be kind of interesting. So you might actually hear some "Go Pittsford" chants coming from our Victor faithful.
And that game's going to be kicking off here in just a few minutes over on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And, and this, to give you some of the recap of that Victor postseason here under Jeff Mandel. So in Jim Hawes' final year in 2010, they were runner-up to Aquinas. Lost the championship game 10-7.
Yep.
In the first year, were you on staff for this one? First year, 2011. In Jeff Mandel's first 2 seasons, first-round exit of the sectionals, a loss to Brockport as a 6 seed, losing to a 3 seed, and a loss. Let's check out the return here. It's probably Kurtz again. He's everywhere on his return. Was that 19? 18 on the return. And Aiden Console on the return for Hilton. But so he loses his first 2, including a number 3 seed losing to 6-seeded Canandaigua in 2012 in the opener, 28-27. Then he goes all the way to the finals in 2013. Victor lost to Eastridge. Victor was the number 4 seed and lost 19-6 in the final to Eastridge. And then the breakthrough against Pittsford in Double-A, moved up to Double-A, the top seeds, and they beat Pittsford 23-0 in that championship game in 2014.
And I remember when I first came to Victor, actually it was in '93. It was, Jim Haw was a former head coach. And I was teaching down at Mount Morris at the time. He says, listen, he goes, there's a part-time teaching job here. This Victor, I think, you coined the word sleeping giant before. And I remember coming here, and it was like our first year. I was coaching JV football, and Jim Howe was head coach. And varsity went 0-8, and JV football went 0-8. And then since then, it's obviously built. I mean, the facilities obviously improved greatly from our –
Hilton taking over the 28-yard line. Siliberto hands off. It's Bedford still in there and still doing his thing. Tough running from the senior. So it was actually, I don't think I completely told that story properly. It was Ron Wickham was interviewing for the job in the early 90s as athletic director, and the exiting athletic director is a guy named Jeff Crane.
Jeff Crane, Irondequoit.
Very long-time tenure as a principal and superintendent at West Irondequoit. And Wickham told me this for the story. He said they offered the job to somebody else and they turned it down, and they went to Wickham. And Wickham was hemming and hawing, saying, I didn't get this offer, the first offer. And Crane goes, you got to take this job, Ron. And
Ron was at ER at the time, and Ron Wickham was in East Rochester AD at the time.
And Crane said, what I told him was, Victor is a sleeping giant. And that was what I started
what
my
a great
story
run.
with. Bedford nearly breaks this one again. I think they're going to say down by contact. Yeah, down. The ground can't cause a fumble. So Jason Bedford trying to do what he can to have give himself another memory of a memorable season for Hilton.
Great
job.
That's
how Ron Wickham got the job.
That's how Ron Wickham got the job.
And built a powerhouse sports program here. That Dewey Weimer is doing a great job continuing it on the tradition.
And here comes Hilton once again. It's that pro right or pro left formation, as we call it, tight end to left.
35-yard line. Silverboro looking down. Nice job there. Nice job on the defense.
Looks like Jake Ostendorf got a hand on it, number 59 for Victor.
Did. Very athletic play. I thought Silberto was going to have no trouble getting that ball over the lineman and into the hands of his receiver. But
61, Cam Ryan, flowing over to the ball.
Really nice job. Landed the 6'2" quarterback. He's a senior, so some careers are going to come to an end today for Hilton.
Ginder, number 83, doing a nice job flowing to the ball.
2nd and 10. Bedford up the middle. Oh, he's going to go over the left side, and he's got some room, and he's going to pick up the first down and more. Jason Bedford.
That looked almost like a traditional counter, where you're bringing the ball one way and then coming back the other. And coaches love the counter play because it gives you a great opportunity to have those players down block, and then you get to pull the backside guard and tackle.
Ball just over midfield, 49-yard line. Hilton trying to punch in another touchdown here early in the fourth quarter. Siliberto looking to pass. Looking for Clark. Carter Clark's got it, and a nice tackle there. Nice job of hitting down low, number 32 for your Blue Devils. That's Tyler Gleason, a junior.
Tyler Gleason's a fast, athletic kid. He loves to hit. He's one of those guys you see flying all over the field on special teams. It's good to see him out here on defense, getting to the ball also. Throw to the ball to the tight end off of play action is always a great play because those guys, they get open in the flats. They're tough to cover because your linebackers got to get out there and cover them.
Well, he better hit Carter Clark low. Carter Clark's 6'5", 270. And Gleason giving up about 100 pounds.
Yeah, out in Hilton, they definitely growing big. There's that counter again.
31 can't get there. And Bedford with another good gain. Good pursuit, but just Luke O'Leary tried getting there, and just good speed by Bedford.
73, Jacob Lemon. And also was Carl Coons for Hilton on that traditional counter, pulling a backside guard and a backside tackle to lead the way. And when you can get those backside offensive linemen, attacking the front side where you're going with the ball, good things can happen.
And Coons is just a sophomore. And Joel Masura is one of their other linemen who got injured to start before the season. And he's just a junior, so he'll be back. He's over 300 pounds.
That fullback dive to Joshua Graham.
Hilton approaching the red zone here.
Got a host of Blue Devils, including Luke O'Leary, the brother Broden O'Leary. Got the O'Leary brothers out there.
We are approaching kickoff for that McQuaid game. 10 minutes out. McQuaid, Pittsford. Dial it up on your another varsity. I'm not trying to send our audience away, but if they're looking to see who Victor will match up against, it's going to be right there for you. Almost a mix-up on that one, it looked like. Siliberto rolling left. He's going to run this one and brought it down out of bounds.
You know.
And we've got a flag coming in and another one coming in. I think we got some unsportsmanlike stuff happen. I didn't see it, but just from the demeanor of the official in firing the flag, he wants to put an end to whatever happened between those two players. So,
looked like almost like a counter boot. Hilton trying to string some plays together quite often. When you run the counter, what you're going to want to do off of that, because counter, of course, is a running play that we saw earlier. You're going to want to run the counter boot. And that, folks, is when you're going to hand, you kind of fake it to the fullback and you hand it off to the tailback. That's, of course, the counter. And when you boot off of that, now you fake fullback, fake tailback, and then you roll out. And that's what it looked like Hilton was attempting to do, and then it turned into kind of a broken play.
Setting things up. Okay, so we've got unsportsmanlike. Personal foul and an ejection. And the unfortunate thing about that, I believe, is the Section 5 rule means and
you do miss the next
the next game.
The next week's game.
So unsportsmanlike on Hilton and a personal foul against Victor. And whatever was done on the blue side of the field means an ejection. So unfortunate way to end that for those players, but we press on here at Victor, where the sun looks like it's going to stay out for good. Lots of clouds in the sky, but great facility. And if you're a Victor fan, a great ball game for you. They jumped on. Actually, it was an inauspicious start for the Blue Devils. They fumbled the opening kickoff, and Hilton took over inside the 20. And then the Victor defense made
Stepped
that
up.
stand. Yeah, I don't think they gave them more than a couple yards on that drive and forced a punt.
Okay, it'll be interesting to see where they spot the ball here.
And a little shout out to all the officials.
So they bring
here
it
locally.
one way.
2nd and 6 from the 25-yard line here for the Cadets. Well, Hilton is going to end the season 5-2. A good season for them for sure.
Absolutely.
And they were a 6. They come in as a 3 seed here. They were a 6 seed last year. Lost their opening game, 26-12 to Fairport. A couple years ago, they made the semis, where they lost to McQuaid. And their last title is all the way back in 1994.
Really?
Yeah. So and Lapani was the coach then. Like I said, 32nd year at Hilton, 35th overall. Actually covered some of his. He won 3 Section 5 girls basketball championships back in East Rochester in the early 90s. I was still a college student and covered some of those games for the Democrat Chronicle.
Hilton, usually they're that big, strong team out of the West. They're always contending. And being that I'm a Made football coach, I've seen their teams coming up through. These kids hit the weight room hard, and it shows in the field because every year they put a product on the field that's just physically strong.
Ryan Kurtz split wide right. It's going to be a 2nd and 6. Graham is the fullback here in the set, and 44 is the tailback. That's Trace Letcher, the junior fullback, or junior running back. Siliberto still in at quarterback. 3rd and 6. It's going to be Letcher on the carry. Good running yards there. I think he's got a first down here for the Cadets. Moving the chains once again.
Johannes Skinder getting in there on the tackle. Nice job. Number 83 coming down as that outside linebacker spot.
It is, in fact, a first down for Hilton at the 19-yard line. Some of the backups doing a nice job. Letcher, one of those guys. Aiden Council, split wide right. Siliberto's looking his way. Puts it up for grabs. He's got a step. Ball just a bit underthrown. Nice defensive play.
Number 8, Keegan Mathis, does a real nice job in the coverage. You could hear his buddies on the sideline yelling pass. So that gives you the awareness that it's a pass. And all of a sudden, friends on the sideline help with ball so you know to get your head around and you get your hands on it.
Yeah,
nice
good
defensive play.
awareness of where he was, and sometimes you can get your back.
And a well-thrown ball. The ball is really well thrown.
Get your legs tangled up sometimes. You can trip as you're spinning, and he did a nice job. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10. And the 17, Ryan Kurtz, the Mr. Special Teams, split out wide right. Up back, gets it. It's Graham. Hit immediately and taken down. Hit initially by that 59.
Jake Ostendorf.
And I think 31 finished him off. Nice job.
Yeah, I agree. Luke O'Leary for Victor did a real nice job scraping over the ball.
We'll bring up a 3rd and 12. He lost some yards on that play.
Matt Braun doing a nice job up there. That defensive line for Victor, along with 75, Robert Miller.
Third and 12 here for the Cadets from the 26-yard line. And Siliberto looking long, and it's thrown behind Kurtz there. I believe that's Kurtz. 17 Kurtz, yeah. Just a little bit behind. Showed good arm strength.
Almost a slant pattern there. Sometimes that's one of people's great patterns to run when you're down by the goal line. That slant, it's sometimes tough to cover.
I haven't seen Dante Valiant here in the second half, so it looks like that injury's probably got him down, and obviously it's a ball game that's out of reach. I see him down here in the far end. He's the final player on the bench, stretching a little bit, trying to keep that back loose. Wish him the best. He had a great senior season for Hilton. All right,
so what do you think, Jeff? What are you going to see here? 4th down?
I think the passing game.
Looks like we got 3 receivers to one side, one the other.
Yeah, we got wide right is Tim Hubbard and trips left, and we're going to get a timeout here by the Cadets. So whatever they saw wasn't set up properly, and there's Coach Lapani. Look at that. I love it. 55-7. He's out here coaching like it's 7-7 out there.
Absolutely, and you notice, Hilton going with the 3 receivers to one side. Quite often teams are going to do that, to put 3 receivers to one side, 1 receiver to the other, just trying to get that one-on-one matchup by themselves. People think that you're putting 3 guys to one side, you're going to kind of flood that area, but quite often you're really trying to get that one-on-one matchup.
Who was your football coach at Cortland back in the day?
The guy's name was Dennis Kaiser. He was outstanding guy. Then my senior year, he came. We had great year. We go like 10-0 and stuff. We lose to Ithaca, who went on to win the national championship. But Dennis Kaiser, I still remember he left us my senior year. He got a job at Nike. This little shoe company that you might have heard of out of Oregon. And then, it was interesting. He went from there to the NFL. He was like the number 3 guy in charge of the NFL. And him and I had dinner a couple years ago, and just a great guy to talk to.
Siliberto on 3rd and 12, rolling right and looking, lofts it up back of the end zone. Oh, what a great adjustment. A great adjustment on the ball by number 18 for Hilton, Aiden Consell. They're going to call it a touchdown. We have a flag on the play, and it's going to be either offensive or defensive pass interference. We'll see what they're going to call.
Remember high school rules, folks. You only need 1 foot in. And it looks like he had that.
You could see the wind hold that up, and he curled around it nicely. It's an awful long discussion for defensive pass interference. So I'm thinking this might be going against the Cadets.
Unless they call it like pushing off somehow, but I don't see that.
Well, he's talking to the Victor sideline here too. Yeah, it's a 55-7 ball game, and looks like they are going to call this one back. Unfortunately for Hilton, that's a great call. We did get the replay, and I missed it. We both missed it, Jim. We were looking on the field. Maybe he came out of bounds first.
Yes, maybe he left the field of play and then came back in. Here we go. Let's take a look at it.
Because it was a really nice throw and a really great adjustment on the catch. Don't you throw your hat when you go out of bounds, though? Yeah, he may have stepped out, and he can't be the first one to touch the ball.
And you could see that the side judge throws it as he stepped out of bounds.
Well, understandable then.
That sometimes happens when you're on the goal line.
That football, Jim. Did you see that?
I did, and he went out of bounds because it's that press coverage when you're on the goal line. You tell your defensive backs to walk up, get your hands on the guy.
So it bumps it back to the 36-yard line here, and it's tough. The referees have a tough time keeping that ball from blowing. The wind's kicked up quite a bit here at the Victor Central Schools. Yeah, that's why you see the ball on that throw.
Almost hung there.
It held up, and then Consul ran right under it. Nice curl move, nice adjustment on that ball. All right, so it's 4th and 12 here, and they're going to go for it, obviously. Siliberto out of the shotgun. He's looking left, and a little screen over the middle. Graham's got it. He needs a block. He just sheds a tackler, and he's going to be short of it. A good wrap up there and a tackle by Christopher Palmieri.
Palmieri does a real nice job. Open field tackles are often difficult, on great athletes. But he did a real nice job breaking down and making the play.
He's going to be one of the leaders of that defense in the future. He's just a sophomore, and I remember calling his name quite a bit in the Monroe game a couple weeks ago when that gotten out of hand. So Matthew Brady in the offense takes over for Victor here. 6:42 left to play. That Vic McQuaid game is underway, 4:01 p.m., and we'll see who Victor's going to face off against. I know that maybe Mandel's going to send the staff in to start scouting right now.
Start breaking down the film.
Some of them get over there.
It's interesting right now. Victor pulling that backside guard.
Some gang tackling there by Hilton on number 16 there by Palmieri, who just made that great stop, and now he's also going to be carrying the ball for Victor.
Once again, Hilton, they like that 4-man front. It allows them to, instead of going with 5 or 6, it allows you to have 4 linebackers instead of, going with like a 5-2 or something where they got 2 linebackers. Hilton likes to be able to have those front 4 guys penetrate and let those next 4 linebackers try and flow to the ball.
Here we go. 2nd and 11. And it's up the middle once again. Good stop by the Hilton defense. Well, it's been really neat seeing these games on TV. Steve Bradley and I, my co-host with on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show, we were talking about how it's great being able to sit at home and flip from game to game and find out what's going on in Section 5. Livonia with a big win last night. They're down in Class C over Waterloo. Canandaigua with an impressive win last night. They're through to the final. They'll play East High School, which upset Rondequoit next Friday night for the championship in Class A.
Will that be at East or at Canandaigua? I'm not
That's
sure.
That's going to be at Canandaigua.
Okay.
They're the.
So
I think they're the.
CA's the higher
2.
seed. Okay.
Yeah. East was the 4.
There's that traditional toss. Hilton doing a real nice job stringing it out. A good gain for Victor. I think they're going to be
Hampton.
just short. Yeah, Marquise Hampton.
And it's already in the other semifinal. McQuaid has gone ahead in that ball game, 6-0. Returning the kickoff. Wow. A lot of action on those opening kickoffs. Today's Class AA semifinal action here for Section 5 football. Wow, what a start for McQuaid Knights. And again, the McQuaid's wait. No, it looks like they've called that back over at the McQuaid game. So thousands of computers now switching over to the McQuaid game. All right, the Blue Devils, 4th and 3, and they're going to go for it. They're going to do
a little quick kick.
Yep, and nice job by Brady there, boy. That could get a big roll. It's going to go right to the out-of-bounds marker.
That quick kick is nice because when you go with that quarterback type kid, which is Matt Brady, who's a pretty athletic kid, he can punt. He's a quarterback, so he can throw, but he can also punt. You put him at like 7 yards deep. It really forces the defense to walk up. And it's a safe snap. Instead of going like 12 or 13-yard snap, you just go that simple 7-yard snap, quick kick it, and let the other team take over.
Well, the sun is shining on the Victor Blue Devils here on their home field. Looks like it. Well, we'll see. If Pittsford surprises, we saw a number 1 lose to a number 4 yesterday in Class A. East High School with a strong fourth quarter and ended up making a 6-0 game into a 26-0 win over at Irondequoit. So maybe that was part of Mr. Coach Molinich's speech to his team today that be a 4 seed can beat a 1. But certainly McQuaid's built quite a program under Bobby Bates there in what they're doing.
Actually, I knew Bob Bates Sr. He was actually a coach at East Rochester. Great guy, educated there for years. And he's kind of the patriarch of the Bates football family. Just a great guy, if you ever had a chance to meet him. And also Danny and Bobby Bates.
Dan Bates, his older brother, yeah.
Yes.
He was part of the Hilton staff for
Yes.
a while. Certainly part of the Rich Lopani staff at Hilton. I remember meeting him there. Good 6-yard gain there for Hilton. 3.5 clock running here at Victor. It's like a college campus, Jim. It really is.
It is beautiful. And this second offensive line right now for Hilton is doing a real nice job firing off the ball.
Oh, and then counter punch there from the Blue Devils.
And we haven't seen things like, the teams jumping off sides, some of those things that we saw earlier in the year. These teams have really advanced in 6 games to some great football.
That was Aiden Locke, a junior, running back on the carry for the Cadets. Brings up a 3rd and 4. Let me check the number here. We might have the backup quarterback in here, too. No, that's still Siliberto, actually.
Well,
ball on the turf. I think he got it back.
Hilton recovers.
Might have been, 33 maybe? 33 on the carry there for the Cadets. Elijah Lloyd, backup fullback.
4th and 3.
Certainly don't want to see any more turnovers here. And it's number 44 back, Trace Letcher, junior fullback, backup fullback in the ball game. Landon Siliberto. I always see a name like Landon. I wonder if his family's big soccer fans because of Landon Donovan.
There you go.
He actually has a cousin who plays for the Rochester Lancers soccer team. Yeah. Oh, without any further ado, another fumble. And Victor is saying they might have it.
It's going to be a turnover on downs either way.
Good point.
So Victor's going to be
And now we might be in
over.
victory formation territory for the Blue Devils. Yeah.
Well, Devo, I got to admit, I was looking forward to calling a game with you. I was looking forward to this all week.
It's been a lot of fun, Jim. I did some broadcasting when I was in college at St. John Fisher, and I used to go home back to Central New York and work for a station called WMCR, where I did some baseball and some basketball games play-by-play. But I'd never done football until a few weeks ago right here on Varsity Media, so I appreciate Ben Turchin and the whole team giving me the chance to call some football action. And here are the Victor Blue Devils. Looks like they're going to have a 55-7 victory over Hilton.
Fisher Communication. My neighbor is Ray Sullivan. You might know Ray.
Absolutely know Ray Sullivan, yeah. He worked with a good friend of mine, Brett Stagnetti, at Channel 10.
Exactly.
And veteran producer. I used to work with Ray a little bit when he was over at Spectrum on their weekly sports show they had, which was really nice. I really enjoyed getting over there and talk high school sports and some Syracuse basketball with them. So 2nd and 7 here for the Blue Devils, and it looks like now we might see Mr. Brady take a knee.
See if they're in that victory formation. The running backs are more standing up, so I think that's what we're looking at here.
Yep. I wonder who's the first person to coin that phrase. They never said that when we were kids. They didn't ever call it the victory formation.
Yeah, they say take a knee.
Take a knee.
So there it is.
Those are the little facts that run through my mind some days, Jim Andre. It's been a lot of fun, buddy. I appreciate this.
Devo, well, listen, give me the call. I'll do another game with you sometime. This is exciting.
Well, we'll see what Varsity Media has on tap. I wonder how much of a presence they'll have for lacrosse. Hopefully that'll be part of the package in the spring.
Absolutely.
And obviously we know how, you know more than most people, how passionate people are for lacrosse in Section 5.
It is. It's amazing because I've gone to different national clinics and stuff like that. We've even had the chance as a staff to speak, and it's amazing how different people from across the country will come up and talk about specifically athletics and specifically lacrosse in Section 5. Great stuff. But some great football. We're excited to be out here this spring.
And there it is. One more knee, and the last 10 seconds come off the clock. Teams will come out, and I think they do like a nod still or a wave. They don't really do a handshake.
Yeah, just say, 1, 2, 3, cheer.
Yep.
And you move on.
Frank Siliberto, or Landon Siliberto, a nice job as quarterback.
So the finals will be Saturday night at the higher seed.
Saturday night at the higher seed, so it's either going to be here at Victor or McQuaid, if McQuaid wins. So 55-7, an impressive performance certainly by the number 2 seeds, the Victor Blue Devils. They run their record to 7-0 on the season. Hilton falls to 5-2, and either way, they got the season in, and a chance to have a season was something we're all thankful for.
Well, I'll tell you what, last year after losing our spring season, that was challenging. So the fact that these kids are able to play the sport they love, I think it just fills our tank.
So it's not lacrosse season in Victor just yet.
Practice is underway, so there it is.
All right, for our entire crew here from Varsity Media, and for Jim Andre, our color analyst, my name is Jeff DeVeronica. Folks, have a great week. Keep watching the Varsity Media Sports Network right here. However you watch it, we appreciate you tuning in. Thanks, folks.
We want to thank everyone for doing their part in these challenging times.
No matter where we work from, we're still here protecting you and your family's rights.
We want you to know that we will always be here for you and your family.
Using our technology so we can protect you and your family no matter where we are.
For your free consultation, call or text 262-COMP today.
Your workers' comp attorneys.
Looking for a great way to commemorate this season's sectionals? Section 5 Athletics is excited to work with Muggs & More to offer a variety of apparel options for each sport and each season. Items include graphics specifically developed to feature the sport and year, including items such as hoodies, hats, pants, and more. Apparel for each season is available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. Visit section5.org/Muggs & More to see the many options and place your order today.